Let's see if I can.
I'm actually kind of excited for this. I got some. I have some questions I got for you. Some. Hopefully, you can give me some building tips.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I started messing around with some micarta.
Yeah,
I,
that's some
I
good stuff to start with.
I hate micarta. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with it, but it's like I don't know. It's like the sanding part of it and everything. I find it if it heats up, it becomes an issue, right?
Yes, sir.
So I guess wet sanding is the deal with that.
You have
Try
to wet sand it. I wet sand it. I used to do the dry sanding, like when I get it all cut out and everything. I start with 80 grit, and then I work my way down to 320 on dry, and then I switch to wet and wet sand from 320 to 3200.
Yeah, I was messing around with a little pickle fork. I figured that would be my first one to test out and see how everything goes. And
Yeah.
it was like one kick in the nuts after another, pretty much. Yeah, it was funny. Didn't work out too good, but anyway, yeah, I got this new router and everything, and I figured, oh, it's gonna be cool, but the it's not really new. It's like a new used router, and
Yeah.
man, what a disaster.
Is that a
The
or a hand one?
it's a table one. Comes
Okay.
with a table and everything, but the guy who lent it to me, or it was actually my dad who lent it to me. He has the those little circle things, that you put in to try to get you closer to the bit or whatever. They were all missing, so it's like a big giant 4-inch hole, which is kind of unusable. And it was he gave me a 1/4-inch router, but I have 1/2-inch bits for it, so I had to buy bits, and it was just like one thing after another. I'm like, oh no, So yesterday I just lost my shit and I bought myself a new little router to attach to a plate that I bought, and we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just frustrating because I wanted to get all this done, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and that micarta, it doesn't take much to make it burn, like you said. So
Yeah,
when you're all cleaning and everything, you got to account for, okay, this much is going to be burnt, so I'm gonna have to sand off. Yeah.
yeah, I know. And one thing I noticed too with it, I was using like a palm sander at first just to get the surface of it nice and flat and everything, and it was looking great. Then all of a sudden I started getting these funny little grooves, and I'm like, where the hell is that coming from? And I turned it over, and the micarta was like bunching up on parts of the sandpaper, and it started like cutting into it. So I switched to paper, it cleaned it up. So I had to switch to paper more often, I guess. It's not
Yeah.
even quite finished, but
Where'd you get
yeah.
the micarta from?
Valley Composites.
I haven't heard of that one.
They're more made for like a knife making company type place. So
Okay.
I mean, it's the only place that I was able to find that seems somewhat legit, um, and had like sheets like are about I guess like 6 inches high and 15 inches wide, so I can get like maybe 3 or 4 out of it, depending on how wide I want to make them.
How thick did you get?
Huh?
How thick is the micarta?
The one I've got on now, I think it's 6 or 8 mil. And I have another one that's 12 mil, which is a burlap one.
One more.
What's that?
So cutting that 12 is going to be real fun for you.
Oh yeah, I know. The carbon fiber though blew my mind. I couldn't believe how hard that stuff is. I
Yeah.
guess you must use like a diamond grid or something to cut that.
The thing with carbon fiber is you've got to pretty much throw away everything you use afterwards. Your drill bits are trash. Everything's trash after you use carbon fiber. It's so tough, it destroys everything. That's why
Yeah.
you got to pay so much for carbon fiber when you build something with it. It's like, I need new drill bits, everything.
Oh, and you know what, too? That's the first thing I realized because I went online. I was looking what kind of blades you can use for carbon fiber. I knew it was hard. I was a saw operator for 17 years, a bandsaw operator, so I kind of understand how blades work and everything. And the first thing I'm like, okay, this is really hard material, so I can pretty much guarantee you I need like a metal tooth bit, as most highest count teeth per inch as possible. We'll start with that and we'll see where it goes. So I got those and they cut pretty well, but it took me about 4 blades to get half of the thing cut out, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is no good. Let's try one of these tile cutting blades with a tungsten grit." Tried one of those. I cut about an inch into it before it shit the bed. So I just received. Oh, do I have them on me? I think I do. I just received some diamond cutting grit blades for my sawzall. Not my sawzall, but my blade runner. So I got these little guys. We'll see how they come out. I'm not too pleased on how they're kind of like shaped like a saber. They're kind of bent, it seems. So I don't know. They're all kind of like that. We'll, we'll we'll give them a try and see how they work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sweating it a little bit though, to be honest. Yeah, I really don't want that. I've got this. I don't know if you've seen it so far. I posted a couple of pictures, maybe, or I showed it on lives. I'm kind of working on an Aries with some carbon fiber, some carbon liners, and some G10. G10 is a dream to work with, though. I understand why people use that stuff.
Yeah, I really like D10 a lot. Other than it's so itchy. But once you've used it for a while, you kind of get used to it. But the carbon fiber, you never get used to that one.
Never, eh?
Everything black too.
Yeah, and the dust that thing puts out and everything. I got this respirator and make sure that I'm not inhaling cancer all the time. So it's tough, man.
Unless you'll be in a hospital quick with that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So we got a bunch of people in here already. We got
So,
46,
46.
46 people already. That's pretty awesome.
This has been one of my favorite carbon fibers.
Oh man, that's sexy.
This part here for the main frame, that's G10 and carbon fiber pre-layered together when they make it.
Oh, cool.
Give it a really cool effect. So it's red and then carbon fiber. And then this here, it's kind of like chunks of different carbon fiber and stuff put together. It kind of got like a
So
stone look to it.
yeah, it's really cool. So they just take those pieces, I guess, and they just like kind of stack them up random, and then they put them together with whatever glue they use. Oh wow. Oh, let me let the pup in. I'll be right back. Hey, don't touch that. You. Nope. Come here. Come here. Benny.
Confidence, how's everybody?
Okay, come here.
Whoa.
Sorry about that. My dog was he's a part Australian Shepherd, part poodle, part asshole, and he was showing his asshole right there. Yeah, he's stealing things and running around. Squatch, am I cold? Yeah, I'm a little cold, buddy. It's only 6 degrees here this morning. Yeah, had to get the toque and everything. Looks like the Nuke of the North. Just saying hi. Oh, we got still 46 people. Hey, look at that. That's awesome. How you doing, Al? Mark, Squatch. Adam. Woo, Sling and Steel. Long time since I seen you, buddy. Benny the Jet is a good boy. Yeah, well, he's an awesome dog, but you got to have patience, boy. Let me tell you.
Seems most dogs you need to have patience with.
Yeah. I like them more than most people, but they have they have a way of really grinding on your gears sometimes. Yeah.
Trying to get my male dog in, and he wants to he turn his head like, yeah, I don't hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. Benny does the same thing. He'll see something like these little bags here. Decided, ooh, bags. Hops up onto the table, takes off with them, and then he asked to go in. And when I went over there, he grabbed the bag and started running around the table like, "Ha, come and catch me!" I'm like, "No, we're not playing this game. it's not the time." Yeah. Poke the guy twice. I agree, Squatch. You can poke us both in the eyes if you want. Go ahead. Yeah. So Pretty neat. You've been shooting for quite a while now, eh? Like, how many years have you been at it?
3 or 4, I can't remember.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you've started. I guess it's pretty recent. You're kind of like me, I guess. I've only got like 5 years in.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I've been super long time.
man. And you jumped right into pickle fork, you, eh?
Yeah, but you're like, all right, I'll try this pickle fork. I was doing
They're
stuff.
they're they're a lot of fun. Good challenge.
Yeah, get frustrating. I do prefer the short draw and gap frames for accuracy.
Yeah.
It's
And,
easy.
it kind of surprised me the other day in your video when you were out there shooting short draw. And I'm like, wow, what am I looking at here? this is this is weird. Most of the time I see you shooting, you got that long draw setup going, you know?
I feel like it's a lot easier to be precise constantly with the short draw.
Yeah. Uh, I know. I gave the long draw a little try a few times. I can handle it when I'm stretched out thumb up,
Yeah,
like full stretch with the ball kind of pointing out the end of my fingers here like that. When I try the thumb down thing, it's like a recipe to shoot myself in the face, pretty much. And I've had so many people give me tips, and I don't know what it is, but I just can't seem to. I can't do it. I can't. Yeah, the thumb
I
down
was
thing is just terrifying.
text yesterday trying to figure a good taper and stuff, trying to get some better speeds out of 8 millimeter. It's getting some like crazy results. I was surprised because I did like a 24-12, and then I compared it to a 20-12, and it was only maybe 10 feet per second difference at best. It wasn't much of a more of an extreme taper, you know?
Yeah, I started experimenting doing that kind of thing. I have a video way back where I tested a bunch of different tapers, and I can't remember all the ones that I tried, but I tried 25 to 25 to 20, 24 to 18, 25 to 15, 24-12, and I think 18 to 12. The one I was missing was 20 to 15 type thing. That kind of thing. I know a lot of people like that taper, but the one that I got the best speed out of with 8 mil steel was the 24-12. But the differences really wasn't that much. You're at this point you're just scrounging for those few extra feet per second, you know? Yeah.
Uh, 2012 and then a 2010. And it was only like maybe a 3 feet per second difference, on average. And this draw was just so much smoother with that 2010. I was like, I might think this might be my new favorite.
Yeah. Well, that's when I started doing my band test, that's why I used 24-12, was because it was the fastest one that I had found out of all of my research, but the the draw is not nice.
Yeah.
It's quite heavy. It's quite heavy in I don't know. It's just not a nice draw. I did though later on switch to 22 to 12 or 22 to 14, which is what I shoot on the regular, and I found it much better. And I mean, I'm always up for improving my draw weight, dropping that draw weight and all that stuff. So sorry, I missed you on that one.
You say you get better speeds with 0.45 over zero point 0.5?
No. But I get better accuracy. Yeah, because the draw weight is it's lighter, it tends to be a little bit smoother. Yeah, but the difference in speeds really aren't that much. Like I did a test one time on BSB 0.45, which was probably my favorite elastic for 0.45 for quite a long time, and I was getting over 300 feet per second with that. That's fast.
It's gotten over 300 too.
Yeah. Yeah, just breaking over that 300 feet per second line is like on 4.5 is pretty crazy.
Quarter inch. I was using quarter inch though when I got over 300 with mine.
But and that's short draw, right?
Correct.
Now, when you're doing your calculations, for example, to see what kind of speed you can get out of there, are you getting it to stop right at your anchor point, or do you still have a little bit more?
I get it to where it's comfortable at my anchor point, but if I want to, I can muscle it back
Yeah,
some more.
yeah, you got plenty more speed left in there if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but personally, there's no need for that.
Uh,
No,
all
there's no
you're
need for that.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, um, I have a 29 and a half inch draw length, so when I'm pulling back and I anchor at my anchor point, I always want it to pull back like maybe another inch and a half, have a little bit more of that. Still gives me some pretty damn good longevity, and my speeds are in that 290 range, which is more than enough that I need for busting that 12 millimeter target back there. That's
speeds I was getting last night were the best ones were the was 238 with 8 mil and point 0.5 omega. And that was from that 2012 paper.
uh 2012, and you're getting what, 248? You said
238.
238. Okay. Yeah, you could probably definitely cut like another centimeter off that, and you would increase it with very little draw weight added. So if you're able to pull back like way back here, another centimeter will probably cut that distance in half, but you'll probably gain somewhere around 30 feet per second.
Like that.
Yeah, yeah, because you got to think, right, and you've got a longer reach than me, I'm sure. So what's your draw about? 31, 32?
Yeah, I think it's 32.
Around 32? Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
in theory, you should probably be getting more speed out of your bands than I am at 29 and a half inches, even at cut at the at a similar ratio as mine. Yeah,
It's got more time to
yeah,
travel.
more
Yeah.
time to pick up speed. Yeah, that that's the beauty of long draw, right? Yeah, but this is what I was telling some people. It's like a firearms. If you have a 357 snubby and you have a 357 rifle, and you're shooting the same bullet with the same grain with the same weight out of each gun, the rifle is always going to be faster than the bullet because it's got more time under pressure to pick up speed while it's coming out that barrel, right? Yeah. So it's kind of the same deal with long draw.
It's the same thing with archery. If you're a longer draw archer, you're going to have better speeds than the
Yeah.
short draw archers. Yeah.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Hey, what do we got going on in here? We got Jeff.
Pretty
We got
active down
Shades.
there. To keep up with.
Yeah. Yeah. They usually keep the chats flying. These guys. Why is the benefit of maxing speed? Is it to reduce drop? 10 meters doesn't make much a difference. Good question. Well, here's the thing. Whenever I'm testing out bands or elastic or anything like this, every brand of elastic has its own characteristics. So if I'm shooting Omega slings for a long time and point 0.5, and I've got them cut to 135 millimeters, and my active band length is 12, um, I've got an idea of how fast that ammo is traveling, and it's always hitting the same spot over and over and over again. If, for example, I switch to GZK at that point, the elongation is slightly different. I want to make my shot as predictable as possible. So if I can come out here with a crony, for example, test my elastic, get them cut to where the 6.5 elongation of the GZK or the 6 elongation is matching the 7 of the Omega slings, and I'm generating the same amount of speed, I could pretty much guarantee my ammo is going to land in the same spot. So the reason why maximizing speed isn't always the best idea, but finding the speed that you can hit consistently at, and then maintaining that information throughout every single band or brand that you try should make every single band pretty much make it perform the same as all the rest. So you should be able to have that idea. Now at 10 meters, does it really make a difference? Yeah, it can. Because if you've got a band that's traveling 230 feet per second, for example, and then you have a band that's traveling 300 feet per second, if you're used to the 300 feet per second hitting that spot all the time, if you use a 235, you're going to be hitting low. So, is there a benefit of maximizing your speed all the time? Not really, but there's a benefit of knowing what your optimum speed is and maintaining that throughout what you shoot. I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep, I use 8 millimeter. Yeah,
What's
most
on
of the difference I see in the latex is, like you said, if you get everything to where it's, as far as speed goes, they'll perform pretty much, point of impact the same most of the time. I feel the latex it comes down to feel, what you like, and the feel
Yeah.
of the latex. And that kind of plays with accuracy too, because if it doesn't feel good, you can mess up a shot pretty easy.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And it was pretty interesting when I really started diving deep into all this band testing. I started to really kind of figure some stuff out, and I was like, man, I know I did a video a while back where I was talking about elongations, because some people will will talk about their elongations. They're like, oh, I do all mine at 5.5 across the board, doesn't matter what brand. I'm like, yeah, but look at this, dude. And I did a video where this was 5.5 and I could pull it to here, and this is 7, and I'm like way back here, and I'm like, this is a lot of speed. People will say, oh, these bands are no good. It's not that they're no good; it's that you're setting them up incorrectly. That's where the issue is, you know. And anyway, I my first video I ever did on band tuning, I did that. I said, oh, I did it by 5.5, and that's what a guy on the forum told me, and then I started investigating a little bit, because I had 2 rolls of GZK green, both 0.5. One of them elongated to 5.5, the other one elongated to 7, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? Why is it that this 5.5 roll is just snapping on me all the time? There's got to be something wrong. And I noticed that I can only pull the 5.5 to here, and the 7 I can pull way back. And I'm like, I don't get it. I must have made a mistake. Put the bands on the table, measured them out. Nope, they've changed the recipe. Oh boy. So I started checking out all my elastics to see what the difference was. I had GNOL, which I don't think exists anymore, GZK green. I had some Simple Shot. I had some Sumki, and I was checking them all out, and they were all over the place. And I'm like, oh boy, that's got to make a difference somehow. And GZK, right after I was going through this mind fuck, I guess you could say, of elastic, he came out and he's like, no, he showed how to check your elongation and all this stuff, and I'm like, that makes total sense. So you really can't use one recipe for every single band. That experimentation has to happen, you know.
It's pretty insane how much stretch that Omega White has.
It just keeps going, eh? Yeah.
My bands before I make them, I cut the strip to about 200 millimeters, and then for that stuff, I got to go down to like 170 or a little shorter. It's like, holy crap, that's a huge difference.
And they still feel light. That's what's crazy, you know.
Like the frame, it's like, oh, I'm used to being like here, now I'm like here.
I know. And actually, I think I have one here. You can see I cut these to 35, right? So my band barely makes it over the bottom of the fork. This one I have to stretch it almost. Yeah, these ones actually I cut a little bit extra long because I'm shooting the 0.45. But I mean, I
Yeah,
barely make it over the forks. It's crazy, and I could actually go quite a bit smaller. I mean, here, look at this. So I'm not maxing out my bands by any stretch. So you see what I mean?
right.
That's a lot of stretch, and they're barely making it over the bottom of the frame. You save a little bit of cheddar that way too, by the way.
They got about the same amount extra on this one.
Yeah. Just for shits and giggles, when you make your next set, try taking a centimeter off and see what kind of speeds it gives you. I'm pretty sure you'll gain about 25 to 30 feet per second on that. But I mean, if you're already shooting good with the way you're shooting, there's no reason to mess with it, you know?
It's fun to get faster though, just for the heck of it.
Yeah. Every now and then I like to come out in the backyard and just blow shit up. I've got Batman. I love beating the shit out of Batman. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I'm gonna shoot every part of that dude until there's nothing left. Yeah. Mark, you were the one that I learned about checking the elongation of latex 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, that's when it kind of landed in my lap. I started really trying to figure things out. It all started actually was because I was shooting. I used to shoot .62 or .66 GZK, and I used to shoot 3/8 steel. Now, when I was shooting that all the time, I found that after I get like 2 or 3 good shots, and then my hands started getting tired, and I started getting a nasty release, and my shots would go like dinner plate size. So I was hitting, or like a dessert plate, I guess, like something like that. And I was hitting all over the place, and I'm like, I got to be doing something wrong. There's got to be a way I could figure this out. I kind of tighten up my groups. And then I bought Precise .65. It was one of the first bands I ever bought, and it was considerably lighter than the GZK Green. And I had noticed that my groups went from here to here. All of a sudden, I was shooting a little bit better. And I thought Precise bands were just better bands.
Right.
Not really the case. First of all, they had a longer stretch than GZK, so I was shooting, they felt lighter. I had no idea about the speed at this point, but that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to try. If it makes a difference, I need to have a heavier projectile, so it requires heavier elastic to shoot that projectile. What if I drop down the elastic and went to a lighter projectile? Will it feel lighter and make it more stable for me to hold, and I'll be able to shoot longer, which was my biggest concern. Was I wanted to be able to have these longer shooting sessions. I went down to point 5. What brand was it that I got first? I can't remember. It might have been GZK also, the orange. Went down to 0.5 GZK orange, started shooting 8 mil steel, and I started hitting 40 mil flippers on the regular. So I was like, whoa, there's something to be said here. I think I've cracked the code,
When I first started, I was shooting 7/16 with .7 simple shot. Now I look back, when I look back now, I was like, how the hell did I do that?
I know. And those .7 feel like you're pulling back Michelin tires, eh? they're rough, man. They're terrible. Holy smokes. I couldn't believe it. And they every simple shot slingshot you used to buy used to come with that.
Yeah,
They
that's why
they'd
that's
be
what I
like this
thought.
long.
That's what you're supposed to use.
Yeah. I had no clue. Screw them onto my forks. I'm pulling back. I'm going like this. Whoop. That's how long they were. I had like 6 inches of draw on them. That was it. Yeah. No clue what I was doing back then. Yeah, that was funny. 7/16, so that's crazy. That's some heavy ammo there.
Yeah, it is.
0.8 and 0.85 Caddyshack. Yeah, you know what? I went down that road with Wayne, and let me just say this right off the bat. Wayne is an amazing shooter. He's an amazing shooter. What he does, I just can't do. I can't do it. His setups that he uses. I mean, the guy's built like a gorilla. So when he's pulling back on those bands, man, he's like, if he's not shooting shit, he's working out in a gym somewhere. It seems. You know, it's crazy. It's
Right.
crazy. So those 25-20 tapers he's shooting in the UK environment is like, dude, I go 25-20 when it's minus 30 degrees outside. It's crazy. Yeah, but I couldn't do what he does, and I was like, you know what? I did a thing. I started testing it out, and I went to a 25-15 taper for those larger ammos, and I was getting way better feel, way better speeds, way better draw weights, all that stuff. So for me, that was the way to go. More elastic isn't always better.
We're just going on about all kinds of stuff down there.
Hey, what's up, slingers? I love heavy setups. Haven't had a knot fail, but bands start failing at the knot. Just made 3 band sets, stretch out different lengths. Trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Which knot are you using? Are you constrictor knotting?
How many shots are you getting?
I don't know. I get 400 minimum out of mine now these days. They just keep shooting. It's crazy. Are you a
And
constrictor knot guy too?
no, I tried it, man. I can never get it to stick. It
Really?
drove me nuts. Yeah. I just
What was
wrap a
it?
bunch of knots and do some square knots.
What was it? Was it coming undone on you or?
Usually the latex would slip.
Oh, okay. I know what the issue is. So when you're still stretching it out, right? When you're doing your constrictor knot.
Yeah.
Okay, so like usual, put your little forceps on there, stretch her out, and then tie your constrictor knot. But don't be afraid to give it hell, eh? Like get it good and tight.
I was
Yeah,
like, I cannot. This is coming loose. I don't. I
coming
was using.
loose, eh?
Yeah, or I mean, it was slipping, and I mean, I had it cinched down as hard as I could. I was using the paracord gut strands for it.
Oh yeah, okay. Don't use those. They slip like crazy. I tried using those in the beginning too, and they shot pretty well. I was getting maybe 150 shots out of them, 200 shots, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. But if you use 1 millimeter cotton butcher's twine, like the stuff you tie up a chicken for when you're cooking dinner, that stuff is fantastic. Yeah, you'll get no slip out of that. But I mean, if you're doing good with crystal string or the amber belt, then don't fix what's not broke. You know. I know with the constrictor knot though, a lot of people make the same error. The difference between a constrictor knot and a uh, clove hitch is, let's say for example, you take your line, you wrap it once over, you make your X. A clove hitch would go directly through the X and you would tighten it up, but that will come loose. If you're going around the thing, you create your X, and then you come up and over your tag line and then pass it through. It makes an extra twist in there, and then when you tighten that up, that will not come loose. So that's kind of the difference. And oh no, I tied it right. I said, let me see. And I've had a few people that were actually tying clove hitches instead of the constrictor knots. Constrictor knot with a wacky fishing rig. Yeah, I'm down with that. I use clear do you use amber belt at all?
Not anymore.
No, I had so much trouble with that stuff,
Yeah,
cutting through my bands.
yeah. I like how the crystal string now comes in the larger containers and different colors and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the ones from Sniper Sling, they come in that new. I think it's Sniper Sling sells those, right? In those
Uh,
big clear containers with a little roll inside, so everything stays neat. Yeah, that's them. Ooh, I like that setup, dude. That's crazy. Oh
is there
my
one place?
man, that is a legit band tying jig. That's crazy. Wow, dude. I bet you could sell those.
I would be down to sell them, but they wouldn't be cheap.
No, there's a lot of work that goes into that, eh?
Well, the shipping too.
Mm. Yeah, I bet. You can't beat crystal string. Yeah, I used to be a crystal string guy. That was my way to go. But I don't know if it was if the issue I was having with my crystal string was a me problem or if it was a product problem. Because I had I had some issue. I tied on super tight, and as I was shooting, I noticed. I have it in a video actually. I noticed that my knot was sliding down and it was getting tighter and tighter to the pouch. And I'm like, okay, so that means I'm not tightening it tight enough. And when it makes that friction inside the knot, you get these little I call them like they're like chafes almost, like these little micro cuts that kind of abrade each other. And I was like, okay, let's see if I can fix this. I tied it up super super tight with like 15 wraps, like enough to really really hold it. and I was still getting this slipping. And then in the beginning, when I tested it, it didn't move. But then after a whole bunch of shots, I pulled it and it started to slip. And I'm like, okay, so it seems like while you wrap it, it was getting tight. And then it started to relax itself like, oh, okay, this is as far as we're going to go and we're going to stay here. I'll just chill out. And it started to loosen up a little bit. And that's when I'm like, oh, no, that's a problem because I can't, I can't break 200 shots out of a band. And like, just for an example, this set that I got on here with a constrictor knot, I've done 3 lives with in a video shooting. I must be somewhere around 500 shots on this set by now. Still going strong. This one here, I've got many, many lives on this band set. Still going strong. And this is the same band set that I've had on since I reviewed it. So, like, man, I've had many reviews. I've done a review, many lives with this set, and it just won't die. So, I don't know. For me, I've got it dialed in. Sorry,
I
Hunt, go
had
ahead.
once you were talking about where it would start to slip. It would just get tighter and tighter and tighter against the pouch, and yeah, it would start to split because it was pushing against the pouch so hard. It would just
Yeah.
start to break. Yeah, I don't remember how I remedied that, but it don't happen no more. I don't know. I can't remember. I was getting really mad. I was like, dude.
Yeah, it got frustrating, man. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy the one from Sniper Sling because it seemed to be a little bit thicker and higher quality, and it was. I was able to get past that. Yeah, yeah, it was definitely a better quality, but still not really what I was looking for. And now I've got my setup so dialed in, like I'm never changing a thing.
I think it was from GZK. Just the generic blue stuff they had forever.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about? Had like the Chinese on the end of the spool.
Yeah. It was like it's got like a Chinese writing on the cap, kind of. You get it from I guess GZK or all those other places had the same one. That was the one that I was using, and I was having problems with it, and that was it, gone.
Sniper it's a lot better.
Yeah, it does seem a lot better. I actually kept one roll of the Sniper Sling, and I gave the other one to Rick. So Rick's got the other one. I kept one, and yeah. Mark, what's the name of the last frame? I don't know which was the last one I showed, but I got the Ares, the Thunderbolt from Sniper Sling, and the Apex Plus. Do you have an Apex, Hunter? No, man, that frame took me by surprise. I gotta be honest. I'm not a 95 fork width shooter. I prefer a kind of a smaller frame, a thinner frame. I like a thinner frame, like both the Thunderbolt and the Ares are a nice thickness. This thing's really chunky. Like if I show the comparison of the two, I mean, there's a huge difference there,
I just don't know.
But man, does it shoot nice?
Going from 80 though to 95 would be crazy.
What's that?
Going from an 80 millimeter to a 95 would be crazy.
It would be crazy, and it shoots like a 95 for me. It's just nuts. It's really like it shoots like a 90. I mean, it's crazy. I did the last video I did giving that slingshot to those kids, or to that kid and his dad. At the end of that video, I decided to shoot at that 12 millimeter, that 12.5 millimeter Wasp flipper. Man, I hit it 7 on 10 with a 95, and like I was still shooting off the fork tip, which is weird because usually I shoot low with them. I don't know why that. Man, it's getting gnarly out here. I might have to go inside. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run inside. It's actually getting colder, not warmer. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. I will be back in action in about 2 minutes. Get these in the pocket. There we go. Man, that's crazy. We might actually hit zero today, which would be, well, that's no good. Which would be nuts. Hold on a second. Hey, Benny. Hey, Benny. Yeah, go down, hang down with your brother. Oh. 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 Whew. Sorry about that, guys. But apparently winter's here. Get some light on. There we go. Woo. All right. Won't be freezing to death now. That's good. You're gonna have to revoke my my Canadian card from running away from the cold there. I apologize, people. I'm ashamed.
I wouldn't have been out there in the first place with it as cold as it was when it started.
Yeah, I guess we could take off the old jacket now. Whew. We got weather market sucks. Cold's not the problem. It's a damp chill that gets into you. Yeah, that's it. It's really cold and damp. And last night, I think we got like another 4 inches of rain last night. It poured rain all night long. Crazy. Oh, already
I
hit.
really don't know a
Sorry, go
music
ahead.
band or a slingshot band.
Thunderbolt. Yeah, that's the one. Getting some yellow leaves here. Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It was super hot this summer too. We had like 40-degree heat for about 3-4 weeks this year, and then boom, right down to right down to this mess.
Yeah, we're in the lower 70s Fahrenheit the last couple of days, and then it's supposed to be back up close to 90 tomorrow.
It's crazy. All seasons in 1 week, eh? Yeah. Oh, so do you have a go-to, Hunter? I gotta ask you.
Do what?
Do you have a go-to, like with your go-to frame or setup or something?
I'm really loving my headhunters. I like the thin ones with the paracord wrap. This one here has been my favorite one to shoot. I don't know why. It's just something about it. I just really like shooting it.
What is it, like a 1/4 inch thick?
Yeah, it's 1/4 inch carbon fiber,
Wow,
and then I wrapped it with paracord.
man, how's that for an EDC? Eh?
It's so
You can,
pocket friendly. Holds that paracord makes it hold really super nice.
yeah.
Really like
And
it.
that the black and the red paracord looks freaking fantastic too.
Yeah. I call that color pattern Cannibal. It's one of my favorites. It's really cool. It's got a little bit of silver in it too, so it kind of helps go with the little
Yeah.
glimmer carbon fiber.
Oh yeah, that's something else.
A
That looks
nice
great.
little brass skull
So
bead there.
yeah, I love it.
And
So
then
that's what you're mostly shooting.
this one here would be my favorite frame I own. This is my favorite frame I own, and probably my second favorite to shoot.
Oh wow. So what makes it your favorite? The look of it, or
As far as like the just of the ones I own,
yeah,
yeah, I just love the way this one turned out and the way it looks. Those materials worked really well together.
yeah, they look really good together. It's almost got like an antiqueness to it with
Yeah,
modern materials. It's kind of cool. And
it's really
that palm swell that you got down there, that one you were talking about earlier, that thing's just crazy. That's
it's
crazy.
really cool. I kind of want to get some scales for my PM2 that are the same material. That would be pretty cool to match. Then I like the one without the paracord wrap. It's pretty nice to shoot too. It's really pocket friendly. I like to take this one like to work with me and stuff. You
And
put in your pocket.
I like that jade, man.
Oh yeah.
The first slingshot I got with it was that one from Bill, the Recurve 2, the Ranger Recurve 2, Ranger Recurve. I don't know. whatever it is, the Ranger Recurve. I got that one, and I was like, they don't have any of the black ones left. I guess I'll just get the Jade. So I got the Jade, and when it arrived, I'm like, damn, this Jade is sexy. This is nice stuff, man. I was kind of blown away.
Made this one this week. This one's a little wider. This one's 3/8, where they're normally 1/4 inch. And I had to gut the paracord, so it didn't add too much more bulk to it, to make the hold good.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea because I'm not a huge fan of paracord wraps because I find they make it a little bit too chunky. But pulling out the guts, that's a good idea.
Gigantic difference.
Yeah, lays nice and flat, right? Just a lot of grip.
I made this one for you.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you, man. That thing's awesome.
90 millimeter. Let me know how you like it in the 3/8 thick.
Yeah, oh, that's perfect because I'm a thin guy. I love the thin frames.
It's got a good
Oh
hold to
man,
it.
and the blue is awesome. I love the blue.
Sloped forks. I
Oh
think
man.
that's a necessary thing to do to slingshots.
Oh, to slant the tips a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot.
Yeah, me too. I like it. I like it a little bit. I don't like it when it's too heavy. Like what's that frame I have that's like that? My Evo. It's got like a slanted tip like this. It's like really extreme, and I found it weird because I find I have to force my hand to push forward. But the one that I have that I shoot is one of my best shooters is the Thunderbolt. That's why I brought it out with me today before I froze my balls off. But it's a very slight cant, and I absolutely love it.
Huh.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I
That's
do
awesome.
my hand, sometimes I get carried away and make it a little too much, but I try not to. This one turned out pretty good.
Yeah, that looks great. Oh wow, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a beauty. Yeah, that's a beauty.
I'll get that mailed to you.
Oh man, you're the best. Thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you for that microphone, man. That was like a game changer.
Yeah, I had two of them lying around. I don't know where I put my other one there. I had it right here just 2 seconds ago, but I had two of them like that, and the one I gave you, and my dog chewed the shit out of one of them.
Oh
Oh yeah,
no.
oh yeah, and like I literally took it off. I stuck it on the counter for a second. I'm like, oh man, I gotta take a leak. Went to the bathroom, came back, and he's down like eating a bag of chips, and just chewed the receiver up. I'm like, you
Dang.
son of, yeah. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So I got this other one that I got now to have a backup, and I'm like, okay, I like this one. It's a little bit different for me. It plugs into the bottom. It's just a microphone. It's just one of each. And I saw your video and you're having trouble with your mic. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna send it to Hunter. He can have that one. It'll be good. It'll work out good for him, and that's it. The only issue I don't like about those mics is that if we're both using that on the live, it cuts out your audio.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It comes out like it makes it it recognizes it as an earpiece instead of a microphone. So you'll see when you plug it in, you start talking to somebody, you'll see this little thing that pops up with the sound, but it doesn't work that way. I haven't tried it with an earpiece and a microphone.
Normally
But
I've been able to do lives with earbuds in, and then I tried today with my earbuds and it wouldn't work. I don't know why.
yeah, okay, so maybe that won't work. I don't know, but it's kind of unfortunate because the sound quality of those things is fantastic. It's amazing. And actually, the one that you have, you've got on your receiver, you've got two little buttons. I don't know if you read the instructions or not, but on the receiver, you can actually turn up how loud you sound through your microphone on your receiver. So I think there's three different settings. So you could just push the top one, well, one, two, or three times, and then just play it back after and listen it on like a sample video, and you'll hear your voice going up a little bit louder or a little bit more quiet, and the noise reduction on there actually works pretty decent.
I know one day I used it and the cicadas were really loud that day. And they were still able to drown me out. I was like, man, is that microphone not working? I finally figured, I was like, oh no, the cicadas are cutting me out.
Yeah. You know, those little pricks. Eh? You got some targets there for you.
The
but
chickens love these things.
but on your microphone, you've got that little yellow button on the side. Give that one hit, and that light will turn from blue to green, and that'll cut out some of that background noise.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Give that a try. But that works. For me, because of the highway noise that I always have in my backyard, I always keep that green button going all the time just to reduce it a little bit. You'll still hear it a little, but it cuts it out a little, which is good. And cicadas are just as bad as just as bad as the highway, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. So what do we got going on here? How's it
Mark,
going, Mr. Bob?
yes, I do sell those.
Walleye is some tasty eating. Ooh, yes, you're right. You
Never
do any
had one.
fishing out there?
Huh?
You do any fishing out there?
Yeah, I haven't been in a while, but yeah, I really like fishing. I haven't got to fish for walleye, but I really love crappie. Crappie is the best.
Oh yeah, that's a good. It's a fun fish to go fishing for, and it's a delicious fish too. So if you like eating them, it's a good one to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have on my old channel, Adventure Time Outdoors. I used to do a lot of bushcraft stuff and all that, but I had a lot of fishing videos, and I had one where we were out just destroying slabs through the ice, just ice fishing crappie. For the we had such a great day. I can't remember if it was 2014 or something, but I spelt out 2014, a giant 2014 in fish that we had caught that day. it was it was crazy. But we had a whole bunch of crappies in there, and nobody even knew that they were in the bay. So we'd been fishing perch this whole time, and then one day I was just dropping my lure down, and the perch were always like, I don't know, in between 6 inches and a foot off the bottom, and we were fishing about 12 feet of water. I dropped down my little jig head, started going down, and my line got hooked up in my reel. I'm like, oh no, I got a knot. I start pulling on my line, and boom, fish on. Bring it up, and it's like a good 14-inch crappie I pulled up out of the hole. I was like, oh wow, these are here. They're all suspended, and I don't know why my fish finder never picked them up, but
Huh.
yeah. But we ended up smashing crappies all day long after that, and was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I also caught, actually, out of that same spot before it got ruined. I caught a monster muskie too, a 52 inch 22-inch girth monster of a muskie came through that hole. It was like, holy crap, that thing's freaking awesome. Huh?
That was fun.
Oh man, it was fun, and it's crazy because the fish was 52 inches, but I caught it in 36 inches of water. That's the crazy thing. Yeah, yeah. I haven't done much fishing though this year. Almost nothing. I usually do a catfish run in spring, and then I go for a fishing tournament every year in summertime once bass opens, and then there's my dog being an asshole again. Yeah, we do a fishing tournament, and then we do then I do just a little bit of pan fishing and whatnot with my son. But this year we didn't have any time to do anything. It was just everything was just so packed up with time. We just didn't have any time to do any of it. So I'm hoping this winter we'll be able to get some fishing done, get some more fishing videos done. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Rob, the fly fishing's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Get that roll cast down. It's pretty easy. It's
Yeah, it's actually the best way to start, in my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, busting out the roll cast and then eventually start doing that the little overhand toss. You'll be okay. But
Yeah. It's nice for tight areas too.
yeah, it's funny. A lot of people they fly fish like pretty much for trout. That's usually what you hear. But I bought these little poppers for bass, and I don't know if you've ever caught a bass on a fly rod, but that's a lot of fun.
I cut a lot of copy on it though. I was
Oh
getting
yeah,
these woolly burger looking flies that had some flash in them. They were white, so kind of like a minnow or something going through the water, but they really liked them.
Yeah, kind of like a woolly bugger or a streamer type thing. I
Yeah.
have this pink streamer that I use for crappie too. It's very bright. It's got a little bit of a reflective crap in it, and I just mended these short little shots so it looks like the fish is kind of going like this, like little bursts of movement. And man, it smashes crappie. It's amazing.
Pink's a good color for crappie.
Pink, yeah. Oh, it's great. That's what I use for my perch too. I had this when I'm ice fishing. I had this. It's like a little tiny like Popeye Jake head type thing with like a grub, but it's got a stick tail, just a little tiny stick tail that sticks out. I tip the hook with a maggot, and when I drop it down, I let it sit. It hangs perfectly straight, and I literally just like move my rod with my fingers, and it just goes like this. The little tail just does this the whole time, and it's like for small panfish. It's
I
great.
like the pink tube jigs with a jig head on them. Usually have like a pearl tail. Those work
Yeah.
really.
I took the throw off 3 hooks. I don't know. Fishing is probably a very close second to me for slingshots. I freaking love it. I love it. Yeah, that and wild camping. Whew. Give me those three things, and if I could do, if I ever won the lottery or got a shit ton of cash, and I could just quit working, that's all I would do. It would be either fishing, shooting a slingshot, or I'd be wild camping, fishing, and shooting slingshots at the same time. That's what would pretty much be happening on a 24/7. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting. You know, with the whole build, I'll show you some of the materials I have here. I know I have a lot of them in the garage, but they might all be in the garage. Oh, here we are. This is the one I wanted to show you. Yeah, got a nice little chunk of G10. This one's about a 1/4 inch black G10. Stuff's pretty easy to work with, but this is the one I was thinking would be cool to make a slingshot. It's like a burlap micarta, but I'm having a hell of a time trying to work the stuff. I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing quite yet, but just to make my own slingshot and have a little bit of fun with it. It's turning out to be a bit of a disaster with the micarta. The other one seems very gummy.
What's
It's weird.
You're having problems with it getting gummy on you. I've never had that problem.
Yeah, you see, maybe it's a shitty quality material, and that's why I'm having trouble. That's possible because I've made my own burlap micarta before for knife scales, and when I was sanding it off, um, I was sanding it off in I used like an epoxy glue. I layered everything together. I put it in a press, got it pretty even, squished it all down, and it came out with these really beautiful knife scales that came out fantastic. I was able to sand them. Everything was good. I didn't have any troubles that I'm having today. So I don't know what he used or they used or whatever it is for their micarta. It's like a blue, like a denim micarta, I guess, kind of similar to that. And I can't get that shit to do anything. It's like I'm having a hell of a time.
There was one place, Maker's Material Supply. For a while, their G10 pins would melt instead of like sand easy. If you like put them against like a belt sand or something, they would melt.
Oh,
It was
oh no.
horrible. You'd be like almost ruined sometimes. Like, oh my god, it just turned black and get all gross. And I think they
Yeah,
finally fixed whatever they were using to make their G10 pins because I don't have that problem with them now. Because the other day I like took a chance. I was like, I'm ordering stuff from them. I'll just go ahead and get the pins. Just be careful with them or whatever. And I didn't have
yeah.
no problem with them this time. But yeah, when I first started getting pins from them, I was like, screw this, order pins somewhere else.
Yeah, no joke. And on that little, I should have brought it out with me too. I kind of forgot. I could have showed it to you. My disaster of a pickle fork I'm working on, but I basically I used carbon fiber pins, and on the G10 side, I've got it so you have to like really look at it to see where the pin is. It's like beautiful. The micarta side, man, what a disaster. I'm having a real hard time with that stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might even just scrap the project and scrap that material.
Micarta, you can usually like you really good wood bits on your saw to cut it. It usually cuts real easy with wood bits. You still can burn it pretty easy, and it smells awful.
Yeah,
But usually kind of you gotta be like I said, the tooling on it's not too bad. It'll burn in the router pretty easy. Like it's just like working with like an extremely dense wood.
yeah. Yeah, the micarta part of it, like I don't know, it just seems like whatever it is that stuff is made with, it's like turns gummy like right away.
They messed up when they like had the epoxy or whatever, and they didn't like mix it right. You know what I'm saying? It didn't cure
Yeah,
properly.
that's actually what I'm thinking. Because even when you, I mean, I'm not saying you can put a dent in it with your fingernail. It's not like a soft wood or anything, but it's almost like I don't know. It's almost like it takes very very little for it to start changing color. And what I've noticed is when because I'll basically tell you what I did. I put my card on one side, a small red liner, and then some black G10. No matter what I do when I'm sanding it, it just smears into the other two colors. I can't, and that's with like an 80 grit sandpaper at first to rough it out, and it was just like pushing it right over into the eight in the into the red and into the black. So I'd have to flip. I could only sand it in the direction where it's on the bottom, so it won't get the other ones. Won't mix the colors, I guess you could say. And then I noticed that once I've done that, I can go by and I can just pick it off with my nail. And it was kind of like, okay, this is freaking weird. Like this, it shouldn't be like this.
Should not be like that.
No, it shouldn't be like this.
Uh-uh.
So, yeah, maybe it's just shitty quality materials. Hopefully that burlap's not going to be like that because,
Uh, Trash bag.
yeah, it might be going in the trash. I think it kind of sucks because the G10 side of it looks really nice, and the epoxy I got is like savage. Like I did a little test bit of it. I put I put two of them, just two pieces of G10 together, but they were kind of like offset, kind of like this. And I put it into the vise and I started whacking at it to see if I can get it to let go. And it ended up delaminating the G10 instead of breaking at the glue, which is a pretty good sign, I think. You know, yeah. We'll see how that one goes, but anyway,
How thick is the micarta layer?
what's that?
How thick is the micarta layer?
Um, I can't remember what I got. It's either 6 or 8 mil.
So it's kind of thick.
Yeah.
Save us. You could just grind it off and start over, put something else on that side.
Yeah, I was thinking about it actually, but I was like, man, it's good. I've got those flap discs for my angle grinder, and I was thinking, oh, I could probably get through it with that. But man, how many discs am I going to need? Because they all just get gummed up. That's the thing, you know?
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it might just be a toss it. Oh, hopefully I'll be able to get it dialed in. I got my router. It's a little cheapy, but we'll see how it goes. Um, I'll try to slap it on the router, see if I can just get the corners of it, reduced. I'll use it as a learning piece, I guess, just to get used to using my router because I've only ever used one up on top and only on wood. I've never used it on any kind of composites at all. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And anyway, I have a feeling it's going to destroy my router bits really quick too, though. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. I've got my other one that I'm working on too, though. My Aries one, I'm really feeling pretty good about that. But the only thing I'm worried about is I've got a thin layer of copper inside, and it's really really thin. Like it's maybe a 64th 15th thou or something like that. It's a really thin layer of copper inside, but I'm a little worried that that's gonna not be
That's,
able. Yeah, it's not gonna be able to cut in the router, or I don't know.
I don't know. That thin it might, but I hate to say,
It,
yeah,
it
go for it.
No, it might, but I don't know for sure. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take instead of using like a 1/4 inch um, cornering on it, I'm just going to drop it down to like a 1/8 or a 3/16 just to get above it, zip around it, and then I'll do the I'll do the I'll do the 1/4 inch on the backside where the G10 is, and it'll be out of the way, so I won't have to worry about hitting it, and that should work out. Yeah, I'm kind of excited though. This whole building thing's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've seen so like for you for example making a lot of these beauties, and there's a few other guys out there too making these nice frames. I'm kind of like, man, I could do some decent wood ones. Like I sent Rick a really nice one. He won that one in the raffle that I had. I was really proud of that one turned out. I mean this one's pretty good too. It'll be going off to somebody's new home eventually, but the The composites is tricky. It's tricky, and getting those freaking holes lined up is tough too. Yeah, I use my fingers. But are there many suppliers you think that are out there that they're decent? I mean, you don't have to give up your people or anything, but
There's a lot.
there's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you look up, basically just search up knife making materials.
Yeah, that's what I did, but I found a lot of them they're selling like knife scale size, not actual full sheets, which is
Yeah.
tough. We've got a big place up here called Canadian Knife Maker Supply, which is the first place I went to. But everything they're selling is like it's like maximum like 2.5 inch by 6 inches long. You know, it's all little tiny
Nice.
pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I could probably send them an email and say, hey, can you sell me something that's like 15 inches long or 16 inches long by whatever, and I should be able to get like 4 or 5 frames out of that. I think by 5 inches or 6 inches or something. But
I don't know if it'd be worth you ordering from the US or not with shipping and everything.
well, shipping, and then they, once they've searched my package for hope and freedom, they decide to tax the shit out of me every time too. So,
Okay.
well, yeah, when the last couple of times I've ordered from the States, I got stopped at customs and they nailed me with $35 custom fees. And the thing that's stupid is that the item that I bought was $30. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? What's that $30 going to? I'd like to know.
Right.
Yeah. So
So you have to
it's
pay
got
30 for the slingshot to get to you?
huh?
Or you have to pay $30 for the slingshot to get to you?
I don't know. Sometimes they let them go through. My last
Yeah.
order from my last when I made a trade with Rick, I sent him some stuff. He sent me some stuff. Actually, it was this Aries he sent me, and they got me for $30. Sometimes from Omega Slings. Sometimes it gets here without problem. Sometimes I have to pay. It it depends on who's awake at the customs that day. Pretty much.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, they're fuckers, man. Yeah, they're fuckers. Yeah, they're really happy to take your money and give it to other people, but they won't do a damn thing for the people who live here. Unfortunately, that's the gist of it. Yeah, it sucks. Fuck. Yeah, Canadian customs is stupid. Oh, you're right. It is. Nebraska really isn't that bad. Horrible place to live. I wouldn't recommend this place to anybody. Absolutely hate this place. I would prefer to live almost anywhere else.
I've been there a couple times. It didn't seem that bad. Been to Omaha and all the little areas near there.
Oh,
It's
nice.
about 4 hours. It's about 4 hours from here.
We used to have a trailer up in North in New York State, and
Uh,
my whole I guess kids age, from probably around 9 or 10 years old all the way up to around 17. We used to go up to this place and hang out there every single weekend. It was a lot of fun. We spent a lot of time down in New York State and Vermont and New Hampshire. We used to do little day trips and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. But they ended up selling the park that we had our trailer in.
uh,
They sold the park. We were right on Lake Champlain, right on the water. Like literally, I could take like maybe 40 big steps, and I was at the shore right there. So used to go out there, do fishing, or catching turtles and all that stuff, having a blast. And they sold the park to some guy, and he immediately doubled all the rent for everybody, and he basically wanted everyone out so they can develop on it. And that's pretty much what they did. They destroyed the place pretty much. We drove by it a few years back, and he still hasn't really built on it yet. They just like cleared the land, and that's about it. But we went to this other place, and that place got too expensive too. So we said, screw it. We sold the trailer, and And it wasn't nearly as nice as a spot that we had before. We're nowhere near the water. We had to go really far. There was no beach or anything. It was just like you had to walk through weeds that were like 20 feet tall to try to get to the water. And yeah, the old place was much nicer. I could see why the guy sold it. I'm sure he got a mint for that property, but it is what it is. It's less concrete equals less oppression. Oh boy. Corn-fed mentality.
Are you near the Platte River and the Missouri River, Wayne? Wasn't you asking about the binding post thing one time?
Me, yeah.
Yeah. Here's one of those rings that's set up for the binding post. See how it's slightly like countersunk there?
Yeah.
Hopefully I got the right size post here. This one will work though. So you just punch a little hole in your bands. You slide the post through the hole with the rubber washer. It just goes through. Tighten
And
it
you
up.
just screw it in?
Yeah, all you gotta do is tighten it up and it holds. I've sat there and pulled, and I can pretty much break the band until it comes out.
Oh wow. And what do you use? Do you just use like a leather pouch, punch or something like that, or a paper pouch? Oh, just
One of
something like
these.
that.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
super simple.
You find there's any advantages or disadvantages to that kind of setup? I mean, it's an extra step to do your bands, I'd imagine, but
On like a regular frame, not so much, but on these rings, it's made a game changer because I like to put the band on either side of the ring so there's that gap to make it easier to put your fingers in there.
Mhm.
And we wrap tuck, it's a real pain in the butt to try to do the wrap tuck. We were messing with bands on both sides of the G10. So with this, you just run a bolt through it, tighten it down, and you go. That's it.
And that's it. Oh yeah, that's cool.
I could see it being a little bit of an advantage on a frame if you don't want to do the wrap tuck, and the person doesn't want to build clips or clamps or whatever, then you can make these and all you gotta do is have this right screwdriver on you or whatever, when you're out in the field if you need to change bands, like you
Yeah,
would
and,
need
and
to.
really for making the frames and stuff like that, I would imagine it would be pretty simple, just to punch a hole, poke a hole, countersunk it, and then have those little that little hardware in there to kind of clamp them down, and that would be pretty simple. I guess
Yep.
probably you find it easier than putting in clips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, much easier.
Yes.
Jeez,
And you
basket.
can get them punches for I don't know, less than $20, I'm sure.
Oh, I have a full set of those things. I used to do a lot of leather work back in the day, so I've got all kinds of those things lying around. Even the ones you just hit with a hammer, but they're super sharp anyway. So you
Yeah.
know, yeah, that would work too.
Yeah, you'll find those things. They're either called Chicago bolts or binding posts. You'll see them called both in
Yeah.
different places. I've got them in brass, stainless steel, and steel. I kind of like the ones I've been using on like this ring. It's a 1/4 inch post, where the other ones are a little smaller. I
Hmm.
kind of like this 1/4 inch post with this set up a little better. And plus, with it being a steel post, that little bit of weight does kind of make a little difference and feels a little better. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure it does. It would be cool if you can get them in brass or bronze. It would even add a little bit more weight, I think. Eh?
You can get them in brass, and I've tried polishing the brass, but I think it's some crappy brass because I can't get it to polish out.
Oh, weird. That's
So it might be
crazy.
to see the countersink since they're different colors.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Do you sell a lot of those rings?
No,
No,
it's just
no.
like every now and then somebody will want one. It's like, okay.
Yeah, you have a couple in the tank, and here you go. That's it. they're kind of neat because I know there's a lot of people that they're messing around with the frameless deal and all that, and those would be pretty cool. You can wear that around your neck of the elastic. It looks like a little medallion of some kind, and you know.
Somewhere around here. I've lost it, but I have the kind where it looks basically like this for tubes where you just run the tube through there and tie it up. And that's how I'd always do mine, is wear it, around my neck, and it looked like the ring was a pendant.
Yeah.
Just almost just like look like string.
I was kind of surprised though when I saw that. I don't know what you call that attachment there with the post attachment there. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I'm like, how the hell does that not blow up? But with rubbers, and it's an interesting thing, like if you put a tear in it, that tear will run like crazy. But if you put a hole in it, like a very clean hole, that won't go anywhere.
No.
That'll do just fine, and it makes sense,
I was so skeptical of it at first. I was like, yeah, I don't think so, and then I tried it and I was like, yeah, I still didn't really quite like it. And I kind of set it aside and then pick it up again and set it aside. And then finally I started like taking it serious and using it. I was like, well, this actually does work if you just, once you figure out, that tension you need to put on that band, it's never fails.
How is it though? Like when you're putting that on like a fork tip, yeah, you would still have like a square band or whatever it is, but those screws seem to be round, right? Now, does that kind of pull on the elastic slightly different, or is it?
I haven't noticed any performance differences. It does look funny though, because you'll see the latex around the post and everything, but I haven't like done the like speed test, like do something wrap and tuck and then do something with the binding post to see if there's like a significant difference, and because that's where you're gonna see it's in your speed for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely try that out, but I probably wouldn't do I probably wouldn't max out my bands on one of those. I think I'd be too scared. Yeah. But even the rubber washer, I mean, you're clamping with the rubber washer too. That's going to hold on great. I don't see that going anywhere.
I've done it without the countersink too, and it works just as good. But when Matt was showing how he does it on his video, he was talking about how you countersink it. So, and plus on these rings, the countersink does help. It just helps add that little bit more. It just smushes in to that area, so it gives you something a little more bite.
Hmm. Yeah, a couple more angles, I guess, to hold on to it, right? So it's got more friction, more surface area. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, but I've gotten away with using them on flat faced frames.
yeah. Oh, very
Then
cool.
running through
So, what's out of your designs? What's your best seller you got going on? Your headhunter?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
seems to be the one that flies off the shelf the most, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, it's been really slow lately though.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The I had some HDPE stuff and it sold really fast, and I got more HDPE. I just need to get a bunch of stuff cut out of it and get it
Mm.
listed.
I think HDPE's got a bit of a bad rap, though, to be honest, and it's not really deserved. I know that the HDPE people think it's like a cheap material or whatever it is, but good luck finding something more durable than that stuff. Like I don't know if you've seen Nick Hegarty. Sorry, go ahead.
It was like different. I don't like some HDPE because it just always feels like it's either too slick. Like sometimes I feel like I can almost feel it flexing in my hand, and it freaks me out.
Hmm.
Uh, the stuff I've been using, I just by chance found it and love it. It actually feels a little heavier than the normal HDPE, and it doesn't have that slick feeling. It's
Yeah,
really
and I know Nick Hagerty. He's a builder out in the UK. He's been doing tests because people are saying, "Oh, it's plastic. It's not going to be that strong." And he's like, "Oh yeah." He grabs a piece of his a slingshot that he's made, puts it into a vise, and beats the shit out of it with a hammer. And not like a little hammer, like I mean a good 2 pound, square of hammer. And he's giving it like 5 or 6 shots. Pulls it up, and he's like, "Look," and it's like the fork is like instead of being like this, it's like this. And then he puts it back in there and he whacks it a couple more times and then right back to normal. He's like, frame hit that as much as you want. Don't worry. That shit ain't ever breaking. But that's
well. I've seen it. Though I've seen the ball cup it, put the little ball divot in the HDPE, but
Yeah.
yeah, it ain't gonna snap.
Oh no. And I have actually it was my koala. I just got it. And I was outside shooting it, did the review, and my son's like, wow, that thing's nice. Let me try. I'm like, don't frame hit it. First shot, second shot, click, and it bounced right off the cup. And he literally went like this. Sorry. And gave it back to me. I'm like, no. But you can see even in the G10 that was on that, it put like a big ding in it. And you know it's not glued there anymore, it's like starting to come loose. So I don't know. I don't know I don't know how bad it's going to be, or if it's going to keep running, or if it's going to stay the same. I think I'm going to drop like a little drop of super glue in there just to try to make sure everything kind of fills the gaps, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many shots I'd want to put frame hits I'd want to put on one like a G10 frame. I mean, it'll definitely take it. It'll definitely take it. 2 or 3 of them type thing. But if you're just starting out, go with the HDPE. Definitely the way to go.
Polycarbonate or whatever.
Yeah, like Simple Shot uses, right? They use a polycarbonate and Wasp too. Yeah,
that stuff is tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's built for frame hits.
Yep.
Yeah. When was the last time you had one? A frame hit?
I don't remember. It's been a while. It's whenever I first went back to gapped frames. I was like, I'm gonna go in this with 3/8 steel, and it didn't work out.
No. Well, at least you didn't hit your hand. Yeah.
Point. I was like, damn it.
It was funny. I spent my whole shooting career never shot my hand. I had a couple of frame hits. I was doing good until I decided to try high style. And man, in one live, I was live with Sling and Clay with Andy, and I shot my hand 3 times in a row. And I just had one the other day. I was live, and I had a little split in my band right near the pouch end, and I'm like, I'll take one more shot. I'll take one more shot. It's getting pretty bad. I'll take one more shot. And then on my last shot, snap, ball went, pulled it right out of my hand. I shot myself right in the hand. I was like, that's what I get for being stupid. that's what I get for being stupid. Yeah.
Self-a frame hit. I did that recently. Frameless. I accidentally put my middle finger in the way when I was drawing back and shit.
Oh, that's the worst, eh? What's the it's the Petrosaur. I love this frame. But it's got one flaw. Those damn forks are so low. You see my little digit hanging in there? Yeah. I clipped the tip of it with an 8mm steel the other day too. And yeah. So now the finger stays up. Yeah. Yeah, the finger stays up. But it was like a little right off the tip of the finger. I'm like, oh, that hurts. It stung for a good while.
Extremely bruised, numb owl feeling.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was not funny. It was actually funny. I'm still laughing about it now, really, for being a dumbass and doing that. But it was more painful than I thought it would be. Yeah, that's for sure.
Shooting, man. I bought back then. Simple Shot had a kit you could buy. It was a Catchbox. You can get like one of 3 different frames. It came with some rubber ammo. Or no, plastic ammo, 3 different sets. I think it was 3 bands for steel ammo, 2 bands for the plastic ammo, or something like that. This little jug of 3/8 steel, some spinners, or something like that. And I destroyed that LT. I think I still have. It's got tons of fork hits on it. It's still going, but yeah, it's hammered.
Oh yeah, I've got one. I wonder if I could show it to you. Even it's the my first Beagle that I ever got from Andrew over at Prime Fork. I ended up giving it to my son, and he was trying to learn. Oh, that's no good. He was trying to learn on that frame, and he ended up frame hitting it like 70 times in a row. It was crazy how many dings he put in that thing. I don't know where I put it. Anyway, the whole cup, you could actually count them. It's like it was an all aluminum frame, and it was just like ding, 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 ding. Somebody was just wailing at it with a ball peen hammer. It looks like it was freaking terrible. And I was standing right beside him when he was shooting, and he's letting them rip. And I'm like, okay, your form looks good, because I was trying to make sure that he he had the forks stacked right on top of each other, you know, so they were like nice and even. I'm like, yep, your fork looks good. But what I didn't notice is that he was pushing forward so far that I'm amazed that he didn't shoot his hand, because the ball was just flying right past his hand and dinging right off the corner. And I saw one literally go right by my face, standing beside him. Like, whoa, what are you doing, dude? He's like, and then I realized, and he was a bit nervous, and he kept on pulling his hand off of his face when he was shooting, because I guess it scuffed him. And anyway, yeah, that was really bad. I gotta post pictures of that thing, you know, just show people, you know, learning curves. They're real. Yeah. Batman, you're out of here, buddy. Take it easy, man. Oh, I once shot my thumb on a YouTube live, and that ended really quick. Yeah, I bet. I can't remember who was telling me. Somebody shot themselves in hand and it went like in their skin and came out. I kind of want to say it was Ethan. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's not messing with them darts, man. I've seen too many pictures of those in somebody's hands. Like, nope.
No way. I won't do it. And I know they have that fancy dragon scale glove thing or whatever it is they call it. I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing it. I know. I had mentioned it about those gloves. I'm like, I don't trust that shit, even with that glove. And Chris Graffin did a video showing how tough they were, and he took his glove off, stuck it onto a log, and started shooting it directly with the darts with the log, and it never pierced. But with me, I'm gonna be the guy where it does pierce, and I want no part of it, no part of it at all. At our archery club,
where it's flat, when you're shooting, it ain't gonna be flat. You're gonna be shooting at an angle.
yeah, you see, that's what I was saying, and I'm like, no, wait, you're gonna be shooting at an angle. It's gonna go in whatever under the scale, and that's it. And he's like, nope. He set it up on the log, and he shot it like that too, and it didn't go in. And I'm like,
Still
I
not
don't know. I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
People do it. I ain't gonna.
There was a guy at our archery club who was shooting carbon arrows, and for those of you guys who are archery people, if you ever have an arrow that makes impact with another arrow on your target, it's good practice that every time when you go out, you grab your arrow, and on your way back, you give them a little bend. Because if there's any damage to them, when you bend it, you'll hear a crunch, or it'll just carbon fiber just kind of like spiders out. You know, it does this weird thing. But when you release it, it'll go right back to looking normal, and you won't even think there's anything wrong with it. Well, this guy didn't check his arrows. Went up the line, got his bow set up, released it, and on the release, the arrow went like this and shot right into his hand. It went in his hand in one hole and came out in like 150 pieces of spaghetti sticking out the other side. All over the place. I wasn't there to see it happen, but I saw pictures of it later, and it was horrific. Like to a point where you're like, yeah, I'm never ever shooting carbon arrows ever again. Aluminum for me only from now on. You know, that's how bad it was. But I mean, I'm still shooting carbon arrows. I go out and I bend them. I make sure I test them after every single shot.
They were sketchy when they first came out.
Oh man, I'm sure if you guys want to see what that looks like, just go on Google and Google carbon fiber arrow accident, and there's a shit ton of them out there of people just spaghetti spearing their hands. Disgusting. Yeah. That's how you learn. There's better ways to learn, my friend.
Archery not your thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's better ways to learn. What's up, Rex? You ever dabble in archery at all, Hunter?
I was hardcore archer when I got my first bow when I was 15, and like when I came home from school, that's the first thing I did is grab my bow, went out in the driveway and shot my bow. I was hardcore on it forever, and then I got older, got out of it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I had gone all the way. Like I was planning on hunting and doing all that stuff. I went and got my permits, did all the courses, all that stuff. I was good to go. I'm fully licensed for bow hunting now. But Man, the last 3 years I've been going to my my club. The first year, the last, like, when was it? 2016, I think I lost my shit and quit. They had they were just coming out with those movies. It's that movie with a girl running around shooting people in a competition.
Game of Thrones.
Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. You know what movie
Hunger.
I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, I can't remember what it's called, but that movie had just come out. A bunch of people wanted to become archers all of a sudden, and we're sitting at the club. We've got one target indoors that was 25 or 30 meters. 3 targets that were 20 meters. 3 targets that were 15. 3 that were 10, and 2 that were 5. And the 5 were just for people just starting out, to make sure it was safe and they can kind of slowly but surely try out different distances. All these people showed up. So on Mondays and Fridays when the club was open, I would whip home, grab my bow, go right to the club, and then start shooting from 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night. And there were so many people there, all little kids, running around with their bows. And we'd sit there, we're shooting at the targets. 5 people, we each take 3 shots. So 3 shots at the target. Next guy would come in, he would take 3 shots at the target. Next guy would come in, he would take 3 shots at a target. And there's 5 people per target. So you can imagine, out of all those targets that are there, you've got 5 people shooting at the exact same target as you, each one. Every single day that I went, I had to replace an arrow because somebody hit it. Then, if you were the first one going, you were okay. But if you were the 3rd or 4th one, everyone else around you was all talking and they're walking in behind you and you're in your draw aiming and somebody's bumping into your elbow and you go up to the line, you're getting ready to shoot, and a little kid just runs in front of you and starts shooting. And I'm like, okay, this is too much. And I lost it and I quit. I said, okay, I'm out. So I spent like 2 or 3 years after that. I didn't go anymore. And then I decided to sign back up again because I couldn't find a place where I could shoot my compound. My reclaim bow was okay. It was a takedown. I had a Samick Sage. I could take down, put it in my backpack, set it up while I'm in the woods, find a good safe spot where I don't have to worry about bumping into anybody or anybody seeing me. So there was like this little ravine with a hill, and I would set up my targets, and I can get a good 60 yards from there, and I could shoot at my target from there to try to dial it in. That was okay. But every now and then, if you missed your target, my arrow would just bury right into the nock, right into the ground. It was so soft and loamy, So I was like, man, okay, I got to join the club again. So I rejoined the club. They give us they have an outdoor target range there too, which I didn't mention earlier. And some guy, they started handing the keys off to everybody, so they ended up changing the keys. We couldn't go anymore. And then the next season ended up coming in, and some crazy farmer dudes just decided to go through our 3D target thing and shot them all up with shotguns.
Oh no!
Yeah, they just came in and they shot everything, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? So we had all the targets parts set up, which was cool because we had the targets all set up. We had a tree stand that you can go into and shoot from, and the longest distance was 55 meters. And I was excited because I'm like, you know what? This will be pretty cool because I'll be able to go there with my slingshot and try some really long range shooting there too. So I'll bring my bow and bring my slingshot, set up a can at 55 meters, take some shots. Sure enough, a bunch of people are in there on a Saturday. They're shooting, and some idiot started shooting towards the archery range, and actually hit some of the targets from behind that people were shooting at from the front. And they heard the boom, and then the bullet went through one of the targets that was at like 45 yards, went in through one side, out through the other, and went up. Luckily, instead of going straight, it went up, and they ended up calling the police. They had to shut everything down. There was an investigation. We lost the whole season. And I'm like, last time I'm spending money on this, I'm pretty much giving up my bow. And that's it. I'll probably end up selling it. I'll probably end up selling them both, actually, and just sticking with slingshots from now on. I mean, it ain't worth it. If you don't have the the place to go out and practice, then you can't really ethically go and hunt, right?
Also, my daughter, she was wanting to take some archery lessons this summer and stuff. I was like, that'd be cool, but it's kind of worthless because we really don't have any place for you to practice.
Yeah. Yeah, and out where I live too, like there's no way I can go and set up a target at my backyard for my bow. There would be police at my door within 30 seconds, guaranteed. You know, so it kind of sucks because I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And being able to go out and bring a deer home to fill the freezer would be sweet, but it ain't gonna happen. It's- yeah.
Crossbow for that. I got a crossbow I deer hunt with.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going that route too myself. Actually, is I'll sell this thing off and get myself a crossbow, and then dialing that in. I I don't know if that's fair, really, to say, but I'm a really good shot with a firearm, and I think a lot of that will translate into shooting a crossbow. It will just take getting used to putting a couple of shots through it, getting the scope dialed in, and that would be that. So I think that would be an easier route. It's not like having to hold your form perfectly all the time, making sure that your release is nice. It eliminates a lot of that shit. So I don't know. I think that might be the way to go.
And with the new ones they got out now, they shoot so nice.
Yeah. I have a buddy of mine. He says he shoots regularly at 70 to 90 yards, no problem. I'm like, wow, that's way farther than I would ever be able to shoot my compound.
Right.
Yeah, it's way further. What do you hunt with it often?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
deer hunt with it because there I don't have any place to deer hunt, but out here they have in the parks that the city owns. They'll have managed deer hunts, and last year I got in on that. And this year they do like a lottery for a
Oh,
tag,
cool.
free spot in there. And this is my second year in a row getting to do that, so that's gonna be
Oh,
cool.
sweet deal. And what is it like a high pressure though? Like is it tough to come by? Are they very spooky or?
Uh, well, to put it this way, I shot my deer last year, and after she had went down, called my wife, say, "Hey, I got a deer and stuff." These two yearlings come through the woods, stop right underneath my tree stand, just stand there looking around while I'm talking to my wife on the phone, like I wasn't there.
Oh wow, that's
I was
crazy.
like, "Get off here! I might shoot another deer."
Did you get a second one?
So
No.
in my pocket, guy, to start cocking the crossbow. They kind of just real slowly went off.
That's crazy. So how many are you allowed per tag? Like you're allowed one deer per tag? You have to have two tags or?
There's so many deer out there. They give you 3 tags, and next year they're talking about giving people 5.
Wow. So your
I heard
populations are crazy.
deer. Yeah, there's way too many deer.
Yeah, you gotta trim those back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they'll eat everything. That's the
Well, and they keep getting hit by cars and all that, because you can't
yeah.
even shoot a buck. Your first deer, you have to shoot a doe, and then after that, you're allowed 1 buck, out of your 3 tags. But they encourage you to try to shoot 3 does because they want the baby makers out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, and the funny thing is up here too, they have the same. It's not the same. They'll allow you to shoot a buck. That's okay, but they don't want you shooting the females, which is
Really?
kind of yeah, which is kind of weird. But check this out. There used to be we're I don't know if you've seen any of my overnighter videos, but I've got a bunch of them that are up in this area where my buddy owns his property, and they had a deer and elk farm that was out there. The guy had like 1,000 head of deer, and I think it was like 250 head of elk or something. And they found chronic wasting disease on his farm,
Oh, yeah.
so they killed all of them. They culled this whole herd. They dug up the ground. They did some weird burning sanitation thing and all kinds of stuff. But they were afraid that maybe one of the deer could have hopped out of the fence or gotten loose. So they decided to, in a 40-kilometer radius around that guy's farm, they culled 840 deer from that area. Now you would think 840 deer, that's a lot of deer. No way. We in that guy's property, we set up 5 or 6 trail cameras just to see what kind of animals they had in his area, and it's kind of like a hobby we do. We've been doing that for years now, and they took 840 deer out of the area, and we're still getting deer on the trail cameras all the time. Like,
That's wild.
yeah, you'll get like a squirrel, you'll get like an owl, and then you get 40 deer. You know, like it's crazy. It's crazy. And yeah, and like allow the does, man. Like if you're trying to keep the quantities low and you're worried about this chronic wasting disease thing, and oh, by the way, out of all those 840 deer that they culled from the exterior of the farm, they never found one case. So, you know, it's kind of unfortunate, but I understand why they had to do it. But the difference in the vegetation since they removed those deer was huge. Like you really saw an increase in growth everywhere because these things were just going through like these lawnmowers, just chewing everything up. Anything that was like, let's say, 4 to 6 feet high, they were just or let's say 6 feet and down, they were just eating everything. All the low lying branches on the trees, big shrubs, everything was just picked clean. So, man, that's crazy. And you would have thought that there would have been a higher quantities of coyotes and wolves, and we still got those on trail camera too. But you'd think with all that food there, with all those deer, that place would have been full of predators, but really wasn't.
See, last year, whenever I did the managed hunt, we were allowed to use a turkey tag, and we could take a turkey while we were out there. This year, there's like, do not shoot the turkeys. The raccoons have like really savaged the turkey populations. Now they're like, shoot the raccoons.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
We'd a bunch of years back they reintroduced turkeys out here because they were almost gone, and now we're allowed. I think it's one turkey in spring. I think you're allowed a tom in spring, and then in fall you're allowed a tom or a female turkey, whatever the hell they call them, in fall. I think I got that right. I can't remember. It might be reversed, but yeah. But the farmers are losing their shit. They want the turkeys freaking gone because these things they're like little they're like feathered goats. They just go around eating everything, and they're just going right through all these farmers' fields and they're chewing everything up. And every year they're only allowing one turkey per year per hunter, either in spring or in fall. I think you're allowed.
Spring turkey, you're not allowed to hunt in fall.
No. You're allowed in both, but
Oh,
yeah, but in the spring season you're allowed one and one only. In the fall season you're allowed one and one only. That's it. So yeah, but in one of the I can't remember if it was spring or fall, but you're either allowed a male or a female, and the other one is only a male. So it's like wow, it's crazy. And sometimes I've got I look at my backyard and I've got this buckthorn tree. It has these little berries that grow on it. I've got like 30 turkeys behind my fence just jumping up, eating the berries off the tree. There's like these herds of them that just go around everywhere. It's crazy. And I don't know why they only allow one, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Oh, I got it right? Okay, thanks. Thanks, Jeff. Fall is either hen or tom. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, here
Yeah,
it's always. Here I think it's still the same, but back when I was younger and I turkey hunted all the time, you're allowed 2 in the spring. You're only allowed to take 1 the first week. If you don't get that one the first week, you can get 2 the second week, or just get another one the second week. I think that's how that worked. And there was only like 2 weeks. And then in the fall, there was 4 weeks, and you were allowed 2 turkeys. You could either be a hen or a tom, if I remember right.
Oh, nice. Do you ever hunt with a slingshot?
Squirrels. I'd like to get a
Yeah.
rabbit with one. I haven't seen one. Every time I've been out with my slingshot, it's like, damn, I really want a rabbit, but I've gotten quite a few squirrels with it.
Really, yeah?
Yeah.
I was hoping to get my hunting videos up and all that stuff, but I just can't find property. It's illegal in Quebec where I live, so I'm not allowed to hunt squirrels. Period. It's like against the law, and I'm not
Really?
allowed to hunt with and I'm not allowed to hunt with a slingshot at all. The only thing they allow is bow, firearm, and crossbow. That's it. Those are the only things you can hunt with. So If I go into Ontario, though, which is about 35 minutes from where I live, I can just cross into Ontario and do it there. But the problem is I have to drive like 5 or 6 hours or 4 hours really to find any land where I'm allowed to walk on now, because anything with access is all privately owned. So it sucks. I did have a spot. It was last year or the year before. I went out and I bought all my permits, but because I'm going into a different province to hunt, I have to pay like I don't know what you call it, like an extra fee because I'm a non-resident. So here, if I bought a small game hunting license, for example, it would cost me like $35, and that's good for for rabbit, partridge, grouse, all small game animals, not a problem. But if I go to Ontario, it costs me almost $100. So I bought all my stuff. I was ready to go. I'm like, okay, this is great. I found my land. I arrived there on my hunting. So I drove out there. I was getting ready to do it. And then there was private property posted everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like a couple of weeks ago, when I came out and I spotted this land, it showed online that it was they call it crown land up here, but public land. I'm like, okay, we should be good. Get there, it's private property. Go back onto the website, check it out. It'd been purchased by some guy. So I'm like,
okay.
fuck, this sucks. So I started ringing doorbells because in behind his property was still crown land. So he bought the road by the road access and blocked off the crown land and back. And now it's kind of like he's got a gigantic backyard, even though he only bought like 200 feet.
Wow.
So yeah, so I started ringing doorbells, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'll let you hunt my property, but it's going to cost you $1,000."
What?
Yeah, $1,000. One guy was $1,000, one guy was $400, one guy was $200, and I'm kind of like, fuck all you, man. I'm out. See you later. I went back home, and that was it. I wasn't about to drop that kind of money for, to get a couple of rabbits and a squirrel. It ain't gonna happen. So the hunt is on for new property. And if I can find something, then I'll start posting some videos on that and see how it goes. Do a couple of catch and cook videos. I think it would be good for my channel anyway. I know a lot of people, they're always asking me if I'm doing these videos or if I'm hunting with a slingshot or whatever it is. I mean, really, I could just bring my Samek Sage recurve bow with me with a couple of judo points and go out and hunt with my slingshot here. But there's always that risk of getting caught and causing all kinds of trouble and whatever. I mean, it's blunt force trauma is blunt force trauma, whichever way you look at it. I don't think it would really make much of a difference. But I'm not about to be have somebody see me shooting, and some Karen takes a video of it and be like, "Look at this asshole!" And next thing you know, the cops are at my house, and forget it. It ain't worth the risk, really.
It's not.
It's just not. I really don't see what the difference is, though. Like,
No. Here we can only rabbits and squirrels with a slingshot.
Yeah, but you see, that would be just fine.
It'd be harder to take with a slingshot.
Yeah. I would rather hunt rabbits and squirrels and even partridge or pretty much or grouse or pretty much. What do you guys call them down there? Grouse or partridge? Do you guys call it that? Huh?
Grouse.
Grouse, eh? Because I mean, I know in up here they call them perdrix in French, and I think they call it just partridge. We call that for rough grouse only, and like spruce grouse and what's the other one? The gray grouse or whatever. Anyway, the other two grouse species we call them spruce grouse or grouse. So I don't know why we make the difference for rough grouse, but it's all the same shit, really. Yeah, but they're delicious.
Watch Alone.
What do you say?
Do you ever watch Alone?
Yeah, all the time, man.
Do you see the guy that was snaring the grouse with the stick and the wire?
Yeah,
that was cool.
Crazy.
I was like, that dude's gangster.
I know somebody who's done that.
Really?
Yeah, just with a loop and a pole, and they just walk right under the stupid things and reach up and put it around their head and see you later, buddy.
I was like, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're quite dumb. They're quite dumb, those birds, eh? Well, I had a buddy of mine back in my bushcraft days. This guy Mike Barton. He was out on the trail just walking around. He spooked the grouse that was in front of it. It flew right into a tree and broke its own neck. And he's like, I wasn't out here for this, but I'm not going to let it waste. So he ate it, It's like easiest hunt he's ever been on, Yeah. The thing lives in a forest and it crashes into a tree and dies, It's like crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. What's the haps, boys? Nothing much, buddy. Nothing much. We're just chilling here, chatting all things, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Hunting, fishing, slinging, the whole works. Yeah, I'm kind of speaking of slings. Actually, I'm kind of excited because I'm on vacation now for the next 2 weeks.
Nice.
So yeah, it's nice. So I'm gonna actually put some good work in to try to get that carbon fiber slingshot that I'm working on. Try to get that done. I've got those saw blades in that should probably help me out a little bit. We'll see how that goes, and I want to get that one Aries done. So I gotta make sure I'm sweating the holes a little bit, trying to get the holes all perfect, and we'll see how that goes. But I think I've got a hack to it. I got these. Where the hell did I put them? Oh man, story of my life today. Anyway, I got these bits that you would use on wood usually, and it's got like a little pick in the center, and it's really really flat. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can't remember what they're called, but oh, here they are. Kind of like, see if I can open this. Anyway, you see those?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was having a bit of an issue with on my pickle fork. I got everything like lined up, and everything was perfectly right down the center, and it was supposed to be cool. And I wasn't sure if I should just use the big bit to make sure that everything got lined up when I'm piercing my hole. If I put a small one, like a little pilot hole first, and then go through with a larger bit, and it ended up wandering on me a little bit and caused me some trouble. So I figured I'm going to go with these ones instead because that'll get my hole started and go right through. But I'm not sure how these are going to handle carbon. They're more for wood, so maybe I'll get through that. Like it's only 1/8 carbon that I'm using. The rest of it's just G10 and copper. I think it'll handle the copper too. It should. Copper's really soft, so we'll see how it goes. But I just got to make sure I get them all lined up because I know my OCD ass is going to see a hole that's not lined up properly, and it's going to make me crazy. So yeah,
Using a drill press?
Huh?
Using a drill press?
Yeah. I got a drill press for it and everything, but I also lost my chuck. So when we're done here today, that's what I'm going to be doing is scouring the pigsty of a garage I have, looking for my looking for my chuck to make sure I can open that up. Yeah, but it was funny because I drilled that little pilot hole, and when I started to drill, it's like it just went over a little bit for whatever reason and went down. So I've got one hole perfect, the other hole's a little bit off from where the cup. I was like, ah, son of a bitch. Like, yeah, this pisses me off. But I think these ones will be a better choice, I think. So we'll see how it goes.
For sure.
Yeah. And we'll see how it goes.
Do those say if they're carbide or anything like that? Carbide tip?
No, I think they're just HSS. So they'll probably be I'll probably get like one cut of them or something like that before they shit themselves. Yeah, it's HSS. So 7-piece HSS, 5 flute countersunk drill bit set.
High speed steel?
Carpentry. Huh?
It's just high speed steel?
Yeah. Carpentry reamer, woodworking chamfers. I don't know. We'll see. I could see that being.
When you're drilling that carbon fiber, just be mindful of the heat from your bit because it'll start delaminating that carbon fiber pretty easy.
Yeah. I wonder if I should just. Do you think it would be worth it just to give it like a little squirt of water while I'm doing it?
It wouldn't hurt
just
it.
To keep it cool.
Yep.
Yeah, or maybe a little oil. I don't know if I would want to put oil on it. It might mess with me a little bit, but maybe a little spritz of water, just give it a little squirt from time to time would be enough to keep it cool. Yeah. I know when we're drilling hardened steels, we use like a special cutting oil and stuff like that. We spray the bits with it. That stuff works really great, but I don't know how it would affect laminates and stuff like that too. It might eat away at whatever the glue is. I don't know.
It could soak into the fibers of the micarta.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. But I mean, the other frame that I'm using is not it's not my card. I'm working on. It's just carbon steel and G10. So and copper, which wouldn't be an issue with that at all. But just getting it all cleaned up after when you're getting ready to glue it together, I'd have to give it a good wipe down with acetone or something.
Isopropyl alcohol is your best friend.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I was checking it out. What would be the best stuff to use when you're wiping these things down? If alcohol would be good or whatever. And somebody had mentioned that it depends on what kind of epoxy you're using. Some of them will work better with alcohol, and some of them would work better with an acetone, depending on what the base is or something. So I don't know. I don't know.
I always like the 91% or whatever evaporates super fast.
Oh yeah, it disappears almost instantly. Really, you put that onto a rag and give it a good wipe down, and yeah, you can't really go wrong with alcohol. Alcohol's some good stuff, and it's cheaper too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some like methyl hydrate or something like that. It's like 99%. You know.
Nice little squirt bottle and
Yeah. I think that'll be the way to go.
we go through a lot of rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. And I think definitely the when I get into the wet sanding and all that stuff, it'll be much better with the wet sanding because I'm like super paranoid of that shit, breathing that crap in. You know.
Wet sanding, I found that adding a little dish soap to the water makes a huge difference.
It does, eh? Yeah, that's what I used to do with my knife blades when I was making knives back in the day. I used to do a little bit of wet sanding. I would put soap and water on it because it kept my I actually do that with my sharpening stones too, by the way. Anybody looking for a great tip? If you're getting any of those wet stones where you soak them in water first, add a little drop or two of dish soap in it, and while you're doing it, it'll foam it up and it removes all the gunk from your stone. It keeps your stones cleaner and they cut nicer. So I'm sure it's the same thing with the sandpaper. I bet you that makes a huge difference. Daryl, what's happening, man? Chad, what's happening? Nassim, Wayne, Ooh. Rob. I invested in a drill bit sharpener. Try to get the most out of the drill bit. That's a good idea. But the interesting thing with drill bits though is when you're sharpening them, it depends on your angles, right? So if you're, I don't know, however whatever angles you have. I can't remember what they were, if it was 120 or just the flat ones or whatever it is. But we tried using those at work, and your biggest enemy of sharpening those drill bits is your heat. So you got to make sure that they stay cool the whole time because once they get too hot, they're no longer usable. Or you have to slowly but surely grind it past the spot where it changed color. I use soapy water when I sharpen knives also.
Doing some knives, but man, I'm kind of accident prone. I can just see that thing get slipped out of my hand and stuck on my leg or something.
Pretty much every single knife that I've ever made, Hunter has bitten me. That's the truth. That's the truth. And when I'm sharpening my knives too, I tend to go a little bit psycho. I want it to be able, just cutting paper isn't good enough. I want to be able to cut time and space. So I I get these things stupid sharp. And one day I was just sitting there and I'm holding it and I dropped it and it fell in between my legs and it sliced through my jeans and in through the inside of my thigh and then stuck into the floor. And I was like, and it was weird because at first I barely felt it. I felt nothing. I felt something like just kind of like brushed by my leg. It didn't hurt at all. And then I'm like, oh shit. I look down, I pick it up. I'm like, ooh, that was close. And then I felt my leg getting wet. I'm like, oh no. I got myself pretty good. Yeah. Lesson learned. Yeah. Lesson learned. What's up, Jake? But I made a few knives. I had a good buddy of mine. from a company called Maple House Knives. He used to make these amazing knives. He's kind of retired, I guess. He doesn't make them anymore. But he gave me some tips on because I was basically like I don't know what you call it, like a redneck knife builder. I would basically I made my own forge out of a coffee can and all kinds of stuff, but it works. It works really, really well. But I had a whole bunch of homemade stuff. I made myself an anvil out of an old railroad track. Um, and a whole bunch of stuff. But he gave me some tips on heat treating some stuff, like some materials that you should use, some you shouldn't use. It's a little bit more complicated. Some recipes you'd have to keep under heat for a certain amount of time, depending on the thickness of your steel and how much steel you were doing. So it was like, okay, I got to get this thing up to where it's no longer magnetic, but then I got to keep it there for about 15 minutes. So I would constantly be passing it in and out of the thing and testing it to make sure I'm staying there. And with the old 01 tool steel, for example, it's kind of hard to get a good heat treat on there when you're just kind of winging it. But he gave me a few tips to kind of get there, and man, the thing holds an edge like you would not believe, and it's pretty durable. I ended up throwing it into my oven, which my wife really loves, to temper it, and yeah, two tours of one tour of 425 for an hour, and another one for 2 hours at 375, and it came back to a nice straw color when I took it out, sanded her down, and thing holds an edge like no one's business. So, and it's pretty durable. I've batoned it through chunks of wood and all kinds of things. So it held up pretty nice. But that was the one that I made the Micarta slabs for the handle on that one, and the Micarta came out beautiful. I have a video. Actually, maybe even on this channel, I might have posted that on one of my knife builds in one of my first videos, and I put that one on there. And my goodness, that thing. The Micarta came out beautiful, and I didn't have those problems I was telling you about earlier. That dude for it turning into chewing gum on me, there was none of that. Multiple angle adjustments. That's really cool. Oh, so you're gonna be doing any shooting today, Hunter?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure, right? Yeah, I think
Right?
I think today I'm gonna be doing some work on the Catchbox a little bit. I've got some I bought some shock cord. I was having problems just I keep on snapping the cord that I've got on. I've got I originally had some paracord that I tied my target to, so it kind of dangles in the middle. And then I was using 2040 tubing with a little hook on the end, and I would attach it to the other side. But it just I keep on straightening out the hooks. I mean, the hooks are pretty decent. The ones that I got are pretty good. I was just playing with one here somewhere. They're pretty good. They're strong. Like, they're really hard to bend with your hand, but every now and then you're hitting a little bit high on them. I just kept on straightening the hooks out, and it was pissing me off. And I snapped another one yesterday, and I was like, okay, enough of this. I'm going to get some shock cord. So I got some shock cord now, and I think having it being able to stretch on both sides is going to help it out, because the side with the tubing never breaks. It's always the other side that doesn't have it.
Absorb the impact better, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to absorb the impact better. And I mean, from our conversations, you could tell I like a hot band, right? So
That's right.
yeah,
I
and these are the little hooks that I got. These are the little hooks that I got, and I mean, they're like I'm giving it, so they're pretty sturdy, but they're not taking that 300 feet per second with an 8 mil steel. I hit them and they keep on popping on me. So I think the shock cord is going to help quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I use in
Yeah.
my bear, the shock cord, and I have plastic hook into mine. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's his name? Rex gave me a wicked tip. I bought these cable ties with the little loop on the top. So my plan is I'm gonna set these up inside the Catchbox. So they're going around the posts or around the plastic in the Catchbox, and I'll be able just to slide these guys in and out and swap them. And in my my spin trap, they hold really, really well. They don't slide up and down, but if you really force them, you can slide them up and down. So you can have multiple targets set up, and you can just slide them up and down the posts and swap in and out of your your targets. So it'll be a pretty cool setup, I think, once I'm done. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But these cable ties, I think it's going to be pretty good. I haven't had one of those pop on me, but I have straightened these guys out. So hopefully we can get that solved today and get back to shooting, because I really like those leather 40 mil flippers there from Timber 26.
Yeah.
You know, and to be fair, I do pick on the thing. I beat the shit out of it every time I get it. I'm sure it's calling me names and all kinds of stuff. I take it personal and I want to kill it, and it just won't die. But I keep straightening out the hook, so that's got to be remedied, because it's frustrating when you don't get to shoot your favorite target. You know. Do you have a couple of those?
What's that?
Those Timber 26 leather flippers.
Yeah, I've got several.
Oh, they're great, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got another one too. It kind of looks like a pig. I can't wait to shoot it.
One of the testers, when he first started making those, he sent me one. I was like, "Hey, try this thing out." I was like, "All right."
Yeah. But once you get addicted to those things, the crack that it makes is so satisfying, man.
Nothing else compares. I've tried. Nope.
Oh no, and I mean the wasp flippers are not bad. They make a good sound when you hit them. You know, they're okay. But that Timber 26 Omega 40 mil flipper, man, every time I hit that, it just makes me smile. It's like the best thing I've ever had. Yeah.
Little ones make a good sound too.
The little ones?
Yeah.
I've got one other small one, but I don't think it was Timber 26 who made it. I think it's somebody else. It's like a 15 millimeter one with a brass rivet through the center. That's the other one I have. It's another leather one. It's fun to shoot, but
Yeah, I think I got a couple 20s and a 30 that he made. And yeah, I mean, the 20 smaller, so it ain't as loud, but it still makes a nice little pop when you hit it.
really, I've never seen the 20s. Oh, maybe that's the one I have. Man, I don't know where it is though. I have to go digging for it, but that's another fun one to shoot. The only thing I find rough about those targets is they tend to darken up quite a bit when they've been out in the elements for a little while, and they're dark brown on a black backdrop. They're kind of hard to see sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a way to get around that, but I was
I'm
thinking
thinking
about
of do a brighter colored stitch on mine, because I've got another spinner made by someone else that has bright green stitching on it, and the spinner's still hard to see, but that bright green stitching stands out like a sore
just.
thumb. So
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I thought maybe I can go and spray paint it bright orange or something.
that stands out pretty decent too.
Which one?
I've got a 30 millimeter that he made me that is red, and it stands out
Oh,
decent.
nice. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I gotta see if I can get my hands on a couple of smaller ones. That'll be pretty cool. I think that'll set them up in the catch boxes. I mostly shoot at that 25 millimeter wasp flipper. That's pretty much my go-to. And the 40 mil flipper is just like it's just like it's like foreplay. I love that thing. I freaking love that thing. Yeah, but that's my go-to for the most part. And I've been shooting a lot since I keep on breaking that other one. I've been shooting a lot at that 12 millimeter, 12.5 millimeter flipper from Wasp there. I've been shooting that one, but I got to get that other one set up. Spank Monkey Mark. Yeah, I got to get one of those. I don't have one of those yet.
The one I've got that's got the bright green stitching on it.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the stitching, I saw them on Facebook. The stitching they use for those things is like really thick too, eh?
Some kind of fishing twine or something, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a braid material or some kind of stuff like that. I don't know. That's heavy duty.
But they don't make that sound like that Timber 26.
No, they don't, eh? And you know what? I have that pig one, and the pig one's because I think the Timber 26, the regular one, has like 3 thick layers,
Yeah.
and I think the pig one has 4. It seems to be a little bit thicker. So I'm curious to hear what that one's going to sound like, but I'll have to put a couple of pokes on that one today, I think. once I get the things all set up.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Maybe hunting master room, Nepal, 500 face AC cylinder diagram. Ooh, buddy, I'm gonna need some more information.
S- Yeah, it's spam or something. I don't know.
I don't know. He's been pretty active in the comments, making kind of sense. I don't know if yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of fun on that live too last night there with Benji. That was a great time. I was having some trouble with my thing, so I was kind of in and out of the comments every now and then. It would like my tablet just kept on dying on me, so it would die. I'd have to charge it up and get there to wherever it was. I missed a whole bunch of stuff in the comments, but it was fun going through that uh, those questions to see what everyone shot. Were you in the?
My phone started buffering on me a whole bunch. And I just gave up.
Oh yeah, because there was a few things I was kind of surprised at. I really thought that a lot more people would be shooting 85 millimeter frames. Like that really baffled me. The
That, those
yeah
were like extreme differences. Like man, what
yeah
was one? There's another one that was 75% high, and I was like, holy crap! Maybe it was the pet pouch one. I don't remember. I don't remember. One of them, yeah. There's a couple of those stats he had. It was like way higher percentage of people, one way than the other, and I expect it to be a lot more
yeah
even. Or
yeah. The 90 millimeter fork width was like a huge one that most people shot that, and I thought a close second would have been the 85, but it wasn't. It was 95, which was
yeah,
kind of weird.
that's weird.
You,
Yeah,
you know, and I that's why I asked him about that. I said I'm curious as a demographic of who was actually checking this out because I know us in the West tend to shoot like that around that 90 range
right.
and slightly bigger. But if you go into the East, like in China, almost all these Chinese companies are making slingshots. They're all around the 85. They're huge on the 85 fork width. So I don't know, and I was very curious about that.
Oh yeah, it was the long draw, short draw thing. I was surprised that it was that big of a.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be talking more 50-50 on that one. I
Yeah,
thought for sure it would be more 50-50 or maybe a 60-40 because I think I know more short draw shooters than long draw, but I know a lot of long draw shooters. So I thought for sure it was going to be like a 60-40 type thing, not like was it like 75 or 80% or something like that. It was crazy. Hey, what's up, Coin? Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting. So hopefully today we'll be able to get some work done on that Aries. I can find my chuck so I can make sure I'm drilling my holes properly now, and we'll see where all that turns out. But man, you still have your first slingshot you ever made?
yes,
You do?
yeah.
What was it?
I've improved it slightly. I still have
Yeah.
it.
Oh wow. And what,
Yeah.
what model was it?
What is it called? Ergo Hunter.
An Ergo Hunter.
Yeah, there's some website, I can't remember what it's called, but he's got like a bunch of designs on there. You can pay like $5 for the design, and all of them are stolen. But I'd actually ordered my first slingshot and I was in, I was like, screw waiting on this thing, I could build one. So I,
Oh,
so
sweet.
I got that template and I made it out of some thick bird's eye maple. And
Oh wow.
yeah, and I had it like that, sort of just barely even, I didn't even finish it or nothing. It was just still raw wood for a long time because right after I got it cut out and kind of smoothed out and everything, my simple shot order showed up. So I started using that LT to learn on. And then my daughter actually did a project in school with that bird's eye maple frame. And then it just kind of sat around for a while. And then one day I got it out. I was like, oh, yeah, my first slingshot. I was like, well, it should be a little better than this. So I ripped it in half, put G10 in the middle of it, and then gave it a CA glue finish.
Oh wow. That's crazy. And you still shoot it today, or is it like hung up on the wall?
I want to say it's an 85 millimeter, but I still get it out every now and then and shoot it.
Oh, cool. And you're more of an 80 guy, eh? That's your
I like 75, 80 between there. Yeah.
oh, really? And it's kind of messed up a little bit because I ended up buying it's called a Yayen from GZK. It's like a Chinese traditional style slingshot, and that one was 75 millimeter fork width. And I'd been so used to shooting 90s and 95s at that point, coming up there. And I think the Scud LT was like a 92 or something like that. But I got this thing. I'm like, wow, look how cool this thing looks. And I started shooting up my Catchbox, and I didn't hear a thud. I'm like, what the hell? So I shot again. I still didn't hear a thud. And I'm aiming right at the target. And I was shooting so high with that thing, I was ripping it right over my fence. Thank God nobody lives back there, because it would have been terrible, or the train wasn't passing, because I would have been arrested. But man, it was nuts. I couldn't believe how high I was shooting with that thing. I would have had to anchor like above my eyebrow to get that thing to hit where the fork was pointing at it.
Was it one of the peg head ones with the round post?
No, it wasn't a pig head one, but it was like they call it the Yayen or something like that. Anyway, it was a clipped frame, all titanium like GZK always does there, but it was more of like a traditional style, not quite the peg head ones, but very similar in shape, but with fork tips like a flat band.
Yeah, I got a plastic like that with the clamps on it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
$5.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't.
yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I got out trying to shoot that thing, and I'm like, "Oh crap, this thing's got to go." Like, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. 75 shoots a little high. Yeah, it sure does.
You got an anchor up there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I probably should have kept it, because now since I started shooting pickle fork, I changed my draw to back here a little bit with with kind of like a sideways hold, and I just give it a little tweak, and I'm having a lot of fun shooting that. But the I probably could have done the same thing with that one and just anchored a little lower, and it would have been pretty good for me, I think. But I don't know. Yeah, the 75 shot a little high. And then actually to counteract that, I went and bought this one from Gamekeeper John that was 100. It was like it kind of looked like a GZK sideways. I guess it had like little finger grooves in it, and it was kind of like an offset side style frame. But that one was like 105 width, or 100 or 105 if I remember correctly. But that one, I started shooting at my catch box, and I was pretty much shooting them right into the dirt. It was just crazy. It was so crazy. Yeah. That's when I learned all about the how fork widths and anchor points work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty embarrassing, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, "Wow, this thing sucks." I'm like, no, no. It's just you can't run if you wear size 8 shoes. You can't run in size 12. That's the problem. Yeah, I like the Wasp Unifox size frames with 23 millimeter tips. Yeah, that's an 85, I believe. The Wasp Unifox. The Unifox was an 85. I think the only other ones, the Outlaw was an 85. What else? Yeah, a bunch of them were 85 that he sells. Some of them, I think the only two that were, or one of them that was a 90 was the Venator, and then after that, I think the Apex is his only 95 millimeter frame. The Enzo too, I think, was an 85 or 87 or something like that.
I'm not a fan of the Wasp plastic. I just don't like the way it feels.
The way it feels, yeah, it's like a polycarbonate or some kind of different. It does feel a little bit different though, than the Wasp ones or the HDPE frames. I find that they hold pretty decent. I didn't like the original Unifox one. It had I had a red one. I ended up giving it away, but I found it a little bit on the small side, and it seemed like a harder plastic. The ones that he's doing now, though, the one that I got my Unifox with, and the Apex, feels more like the simple shot plastic than the original Unifox. It almost felt like brittle, like it would break, but it's super tough, the stuff that he had before. But it just felt different, very small, and kind of kept the cold more than usual for some reason. But
Just,
the huh?
yeah, I can't explain it. Just yeah, it just never felt
Yeah,
right.
my FTC too was the same thing. It was an 85 millimeter fork width and it had a very small, very light, but it felt weird. Had a weird feel to it. But the Apex and the my Enzo that I have feel just like the Simple Shot old Scout LTs and stuff. Feels the same or very similar.
Nice. Be a lot better.
Being a 90 millimeter shooter limits me on my sling collection. Yeah, it kind of does.
Most frames come in 90 millimeter.
Yeah, most of them do. What fork width would you all say hits dead on where you aim with the corner of the mouth anchor?
I can make 90 millimeter.
Yeah, if I'm shooting at the corner of the mouth anchor, like all the way down here, that would be like a 95 or 100 for me. That would be pretty much where I'm poking at.
Cheekbone, right?
Yeah, me, I'm a cheekbone guy. Thumbnail right on the point.
I turned mine sideways and then
So do I. Yeah.
it's weird
I,
that
I
they're
bust, yeah, I bust out a little twist when I'm anchoring, so it's basically like that.
That's what I do.
That's what I do. Yeah. How come I never say tabernacle? It's because I'm English. Yeah, that's why. That's more of a. I'm more of a fuck kind of guy. these these uh these tabernacle guys are all the French speaking guys. They like the hostie from time to time also, or ciboire. Yeah. Sorry if you got kids around there.
She
I
talks like
apologize.
that. Yeah, she is.
Okay, good. All right.
Say it works.
Yeah, I'd have to be 100, 105 for a mouth anchor, I think. Yeah, for me, probably around 100 would be down here, somewhere around there. I know 85, I'm on top of my cheekbone, closer to my eye, and 90, I'm right on my cheekbone. And depending on the fork width, actually, I'm going to give you away one of my secrets, everybody. Pay attention. Depending on the fork width, what I've noticed is if the forks are longer, I tend to shoot same spot, but more in. If the forks are shorter, I tend to shoot same spot, but slightly far back. And it makes a difference on if I'm going to be shooting left or straight.
Yep.
You too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's because it changes the ergonomics of everything and just puts them that slight bit off to make it where you got to compensate for it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how I adjust with it. Usually when the forks are a little bit longer, I end up having to bring my anchor point. Same height though, everything's the same, just slightly forward or slightly backward, depending on the fork width.
Yep. It drove me nuts one time. I was like, what the hell? Why isn't this?
I
Yeah.
know.
I finally was like, all right. So I pulled my anchor in and like, okay, there it is.
Yeah, and it's kind of wacky because you end up getting out shooting, and it took me forever to figure this out. Like it might have been just like last year I figured this out. But I'd have some frames I was shooting great for, and I'd have to anchor like right under like right beside my nose on my cheekbone, and I would shoot from there. I'm like, okay, I'm dead on. I'm shooting dead straight. Then I pick up another frame, I start shooting, and for some reason I'm always shooting left. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? The bands look straight, but I still shoot left. I don't get it. I couldn't figure it out. And then I started messing around with this linear motion, and I'm like, oh man, couldn't believe it.
Up and accidentally pivot your body too much, start getting tired and lazy, you start turning, that'll mess
Yeah.
things up too.
My biggest problem is my head tilt. Whenever I
Yeah.
start getting lazy, I start really leaning over my bands, and it's like, oh man. And the head tilt, that's another thing too that causes me to shoot left all the time.
I
Kind
start
of
I
weird.
start twisting in towards the frame, like
Oh yeah. I avoid frameless. I like being pain free. Yeah, me too. Coin worker, me too. That's why I got divorced. Paul. Oh, Paul's funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny, hey, all the little things that you pick up while you've been shooting, and there's these days where you're just like, okay, you know, there's a few things that made huge differences in my shooting. One of them was the draw weight. That was probably the first one that I realized about how draw weight directly affects accuracy, and then slowly but surely the frame width was something else that kind of it was like a really big moment for me where I figured out, oh, 90 millimeter fork width, that's the way to go for me. And then that whole anchor thing that we were just talking about. And there's another one too that people you may find too. Sometimes I get lazy and I've got my forks stacked up on top of each other, and then I'll start doing this a little bit. I end up start shooting a while, and I start doing this, and I start shooting more right. And I'm like, oh, okay. If I'm shooting right, I got to correct this. If I'm shooting left, it's because I'm starting to get my numb anchor point, and I'm starting to creep in on it, and I'm shooting more left. And there's a few things that I figured out that I guess the only way you figure these things out is by range time, you know, getting out there and paying attention to what you're doing.
Being, I feel that's yeah. You just really get in tune and focused on everything, and start kind of dissecting every move you make, and
Yeah.
one little change in one thing can make a difference.
Did you have anything really that you found that was like a pivotal moment that got you becoming the sniper that you are? You know?
I'm not. I don't know. It's just pretty much figuring out. I think I was struggling most with figuring out the frame width thing on which one I would really like to stick with.
And that's pretty. Yeah, well, that was a huge one for me too. Actually, when I accidentally bought a Titan Hunter just because I thought it looked cool, and I was shooting at the time early on. I was shooting a GZK Hammer Pro OTT, and you would probably love that frame because it was I think it was like an 80 millimeter fork width, and I had that stupid sight sticking out the top about an inch high, trying to really get everything there, but it never registered that it would be better for me to be shooting a 90 instead of shooting right off that little sight, right? So I ended up getting that, and I was like, oh man, okay, now I see how this all plays out. And I bought the 90, the Hammer, the not the Hammer Pro, the Catapult Carnage Titan Hunter, the medium size, which was a 90. And I bought the 90 only because there was a small one, a medium one, and a large one. Which one do I get? We'll go with the medium. Best of both worlds. that's that's all the thought that went into that purchase. But it turned out being one of my best shooters for even today. It's still way up there as one of my best shooters. And um, just that little adjustment, getting that frame, shooting off the fork tip, having the changing from a hammer grip to a brace grip, and that wrap that was on there that gave me a good grip sticky feel to that frame was just insane. Like I couldn't believe the difference that it made, and all of a sudden I'm hitting way more than what I was doing before. It was crazy. That was that was a
Started
big
out
one.
pinch gripper when I first started. I was like trying a hardcore stick with that, and then I started doing the brace, and then it was like, wait a minute, I'm doing a lot better. Like
Yeah, and I don't know what it is with pinch grip. It just pisses me off, but
tilting this way or that way too much.
yeah, I can never seem to get my forks. Like as soon as I go to reload the pouch and I'm coming back to get back, the frame feels different in my hand every single time. And sometimes it's in the exact same spot, sometimes it's not, but it never feels good. So with the brace, I always get my hand locked into that position, my thumb in that spot, and as long as I know where my thumb is down here, everything is perfectly aligned every single time. I don't know. It would be very hard for somebody to convince me otherwise to switch from a thumb brace to a pinch grip. It would be very hard. Yeah, Titan Hunter, great slingshot, long wait time. Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I hear people say. But to be honest, you're getting a quality slingshot. The guys sit there and polished and done all kinds of stuff. It takes a long time to get those things up to where he wants to send them out. And he's got a volume that's insane. I think everybody and their mom has a Titan Hunter somewhere at home. I waited 2 months for mine. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, it's rough. I haven't watched Slingshot yet, but I did play script. What was that, Hunter?
I said he won't respond if you email him about it either.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. He does always follow through, though, so I'll give him that. I've never heard of anybody getting screwed by the guy, but it takes a long time for it to get there, unfortunately. I guess it's kind of tough like, when you have that business and you're not quite making enough money to do it as your business, and you still got to work a regular job on the same time at the same time. And I'm not making excuses for the guy, but I know from me being in the hot sauce business, that's how it is. Like for us to go to another level where one of us, me and my buddy, one of us would be able to actually quit our jobs and just do that. We'd have to quit our jobs and hope that it works out, and make sure that you can pay your mortgage and your car note and all this stuff. Like, that's a big risk, It's a big risk and a big ask. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's probably at that moment where he's like, do I go for it or no? And when you like, I'd imagine you would feel the same too. Like you get to a point where you're selling so much, and then it's kind of like, okay, I don't have time to do any more than what it is. And if everybody wanted your slingshots, what would you do at that point? Could you turn around and quit your job? I don't know. It's a big risk. It's a big risk. It took Mucky like 4 months or something. Woo. Did Brace Grip take the win? Yes, it did, Coin. Yeah, the Exo Pro. Have you ever shot one of those from Wasp?
No.
The Exo Pro. It's an all aluminum frame, kind of a skeletonized out. It's really quite nice. It's an 85, so it's a little bit narrow for me, but it would probably be a little bit better for you, I think, than it would be for me.
The only Wasp I've had was the Imp PFS, and I don't remember the other one. It's very roundy, and it has like sort of a pinky hole.
Round with a pinky hole. Oh, I guess that would probably be the Unifox has a pinky hole. The Unifox or the Enzo.
Maybe it was the Enzo. I don't know. It's very round-esque.
Yeah, it's got like a kind of like a rounded cup that comes out to a handle that also has a round with a pinky hole. Yeah, the original was just a round hole, and the Enzo is kind of like an oblong. Yeah,
Stuff.
yeah, a little stretched out oval type thing. It's pretty good. I like that one. Actually, probably my favorite shot I've ever taken in my life was with that one, with that slingshot. Yeah,
Too mushed to me. Oh.
it has a bit of I'll call it like a somewhat comfortable grip to it, I guess. The roundness of it's a little bit weird. I find it for my top finger, it's a little bit uncomfortable. For the brace on the bottom was okay, but the original one, compared to the original Unifox, the Enzo is a huge improvement in my opinion, because I found the Unifox was way too thin, too narrow. It's the same size, I guess, but it was.
I think it was the Stinger.
Oh, maybe it.
Might have been.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. The Stinger. I'd have to go by the website and take a look at that later. But the Enzo, it was like they ended up making it a little bit thicker, and I wish they would do it with the FTC, because the FTC is a nice frame. That's that one that's kind of designed after John Jeffrey's Mustang, but it's so thin and so narrow that I can it kind of slops around in my hand, like I can't get a good grip on it. So I'm kind of hoping at some point they're gonna thicken that little fella up a little bit, and it'll be a much more comfortable slingshot to hold on to.
I had a John Jeffries Mini Apex, I think is what it was. It was the 80 millimeter, and it was really nicely made. The only thing I didn't like is on the target side of it, the frame like does this like point, and then it goes into the shape for your hand for your fingers. And that point, I could just never get my middle finger comfortable around that point on that part of the frame.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have loved to have kept that frame. I was like, I just can't stand that poking my finger.
I've never seen his frames in person before, but I've heard his fit and finish is pretty fantastic.
That's really good.
Yeah, it looks great in the pictures and everything, but you know, it's I find usually when you have like a nice slingshot, when you've seen it in the picture versus seeing it in person, it's usually way better in person, you know. And I'm hoping one day I'll be able to get one of his, but I heard it seemed pretty pricey. Yeah, but that, I know what you're talking about. Like on his Apex, it comes down to that little point, like they would be like right down in here somewhere, right? It come down like in a sharper point.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks great, but I can't see it feeling good
it
in the
does.
hold.
It
It
looks
doesn't.
awesome to hold.
Yeah. I drilled out the handle of my FEC for a pinky hole. Much better fit and feel. Ah, interesting. Maybe I'll do that. Actually, I should probably think about just even making my own FTC and just building my own out of my materials. I can make it as fat as I want, and then we'll
Except
see what kind of. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Do you have any other designs that you're coming up with? Anything new or?
not right now.
No, I mean you wouldn't want to let the cat out of the bag at this point anyway. You want to do a release on it for sure, but
I promise.
yeah, yeah. No, it'd be cool. It would be cool to see some of the things. So, how many designs you got now so far? You got the Headhunter.
Actually, no, maybe 10 or 15. I don't know.
Really, that many different ones?
Quite a few pickle fork designs. Yeah.
Oh wow! And do you have a favorite style for a pickle fork? Do you find there's certain?
It's the Can Slayer forever, and it still kind of does because it was like my first, you know. It's a real comfortable frame, but the Headhunter one, I just feel is a little bit more comfortable to hold. I like it.
That's a beauty too.
And this one's 3/8 thick with the paracord with the guts
The
in it.
Paracord, yeah.
Makes a good hold.
And do you slant the tips on those pickle forks too?
Yep.
Oh wow! Yeah, you know that the logo on the red, your logo on the red with that pin, it looks really freaking good. So that gold and the red together is just fire, man.
Yeah, that brass looks good with it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that looks great. The black, gold, and red. Wow,
Yeah.
that's really damn good.
Yes, I always this one, and I got the orange one with the camo paracord wrap. I really like it too.
Oh wow, I've got this. I've got this guy that keeps on sending me these. He's like trolling me to buy pins from him. He's driving me freaking nuts. I'm like right about to block him and like send people to his house. That's how annoying he's getting. You know?
Blocked the guy for that. I was like, dude, I'm tired he messaged me. I just blocked him. I was like, screw
Oh
it.
yeah, on
What's
Facebook.
the guy? Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's the same guy.
really is.
Yeah, and he tells me he's like, oh, I'll sell you one for $30. I'm like, $30, bro, $30. He's like, yeah, $30, good deal, good deal. I'm like, no, man, I'm not paying $30 American for 3 or 4 inches of pin. I'm not doing it. Like, no way. I can go on AliExpress, get something as close as I want. You know, it may not be as nice, but I get something as close as I want. I can get a foot length of it. I get 6 of them for $30 delivered to my house. You know, I'm like, I'm not paying that. He's like, okay, if you buy 3, I'll give you a deal and I'll pay shipping. So now you want me to pay $100 for 3 little stubby pieces? I'm like, no, dude, it's not going to happen. You know, and he just keeps sending me these emails, these or messages. He's going to get blocked. he's, he's going to get blocked. Yeah. Fuck. It's really annoying though, man. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of people on that end of the planet, I think they think that us in the West, we're just rolling in cash. Like we've just like when I lie down, I fluff my bag of money and I just go to sleep. Like, dude, that's not the case at all. $30 American for me is a lot of money. That's like $50. You know, it's like $50. I'm not gonna pay $50 for a little piece of it ain't gonna happen, dude. Not gonna happen, you know? But it's like, fuck, man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this ain't happening, you know?
I need to order more of mine. Actually, I think I get 5 at a time when I order them, and they'll last me a couple of years. But I'm down to a piece about this long, so I'm getting.
Yeah, it might be time, eh? And you get them custom made, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking into it. And, the guy's like, okay, he's like, what about your logo? What kind of logo? I said, well, can you do this? Like, just do the target with the thing with the ATO, and we'll get rid of the slings part. But oh yeah, I could do that. No, you can't. it's not even close. He's like, how do you like this drawing? How do you like that drawing? I'm like, dude, I'm not doing it. Just stop. Just stop. You know, just stop. I'll buy myself a branding iron. I'll burn it into my frames. We'll call it good. Okay, just leave me alone. You know. Yeah, it's just crazy. They build them in a cave with their feet and a handful of kids. I think you're right too, though. I really do. I really do. And they charge you $30, $30 with $30 shipping. Crazy. And like, no joke, Hunter, the piece that he showed me was about the size of an 18650 battery, but like 8mm thick. Like $30. Yeah.
I think
Not gonna happen.
8mm, and I think they're 6 inches long, 8 inches long.
Yeah. Yeah, not so bad,
No. And I
Yeah,
I want to say I pay $160 or something like that for 6 or 5 or 6 of them.
yeah, 5 or 6 of them. Double the length, Do the math on that, 3 inches long. That's crazy. They do, honestly. I'm sure they do. I can't imagine, like, just the money they think that we're rolling around in, like they're probably making a slingshot over there and selling it to their buddies for like $15, but they sell it for $250 here.
Side that does that makes them.
Yeah. And sometimes you get lucky and you get decent quality, and sometimes you don't. Unfortunately, that's the case. But
yeah,
the worst part about it is I've been kind of screwed before, where I bought a slingshot off of a guy that never received it, never got the money back, guy completely disappeared. It's like I just sent $150 to Kaiser Soze, and he fucking disappeared, and then that was it. He was gone. Nobody ever heard of him again. It was crazy.
Like a king now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because we're dumb enough to spend that money. Yeah, but also there's a lot of guys that are out here that are like, I've been quoted for a slingshot. It was $650 from a guy in the U.S. one time, and I'm like, dude, not gonna happen. Yeah, I'll lose far more than that in the divorce if I bought that slingshot. It would be crazy. Yeah. Some of the guys do really good. Some of them don't. It's a crapshoot. Yeah, it really is. On your first order, there's some guys out there to do great work, though. That you can pick them up overseas and not get completely destroyed. But others, well, you never really know. I guess it's a risk every time.
Assuming he's in Asia somewhere, he had some really cool looking slingshots, and I was like, man, I really like one of those. And the price wasn't too bad until he started talking about shipping, and he wanted like $43 for shipping. I was like, hell, keep that slingshot.
Yeah, that's the killer. $600 better be made out of gold. It wasn't made out of gold. It was made out of carbon fiber. It was a really cool looking frame. I don't want to bring up the guy's name, so I'm not going to say anything about him. He is kind of well known in the community, but when I saw the price of it, I'm like, no way, dude. And then he's like, oh, and plus shipping. So I'm looking at the exchange and everything, and we're talking like, in the end, it was like close to $1,000 of Canadian to buy that thing. $1,000. I've bought 2 cars in my life for $500 that lasted me over a year. So it ain't happening. Not at that price. No way. I hate to say this, but I did spend that much money on for one, and it was one from Moan. Yeah, I can never do it. I can never do it. Like, I just couldn't. When you can get a very good quality slingshot like this one from Sniper Sling for $185, maybe $212 or something like that delivered. You know, spending, and just keep in mind, guys, this is the exact same materials that that other guy was gonna make me a slingshot out of. You know, I couldn't spend. It would have to be something really, really special for me to spend more than $300 for. Like that would be insane. I don't think I could do it. I don't spend that much money on bows or guns. Sounds like a good deal. New sling in the force. Kid, you're crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you know, and just to be fair to that guy, his work is pretty savage. It's like really really nice his stuff, but $600, man. Like fuck, I can't, I can't. Would you ever spend that much?
No,
No, not even close, eh?
no.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, for me to charge that much, somebody would need something like crazy off the wall, like, you know, yeah, it'd have to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, just for straight up carbon fiber, like I know I understand like now after getting involved with carbon fiber a little bit that it's not just your it's not just the materials that's expensive, it's all the equipment that you need, and you know, cutting things and all the knives and all these kind of things, because it's such a tough material to work with. That I get, but there's got to be some kind of limit to it, you know, like there's got to be some kind of limit. I know the fit and finish and the time that they put into it and all that stuff, but I mean, you know, maybe if you're only selling like 3 slingshots a year or something like that, and that's what you want to do, I don't know. Like, what's that guy's name? Guy to the UK, Romany Custom Catapults. You ever see this guy? He
Yeah,
makes, he,
I can't say I couldn't pick one of his frames out of a crowd or nothing, but I know I've seen it.
yeah, I mean, he does some amazing work, like multiple layers and of all this stuff. And he's the guy that I think the Raptor is his design, and he does some amazing work. But from what I hear, quite often you could be paying £400 for a slingshot, depending on the on what the materials are. And like, man, I would love to have one of his and what does he call it? The Raptor Juvenile. I think it's got like a 90 millimeter fork width and whatnot. Looks beautiful frame, does amazing work, but man, I can never pay that. Even if I had the money, I couldn't pay it. You know, I wouldn't do it, you know? I think John is probably up there too. He's pretty expensive too, I hear. John
John,
Jeffries.
yeah, I want to say that Apex I bought was like 260 with shipping to the US.
With shipping
Yeah,
from UK? Well, I could see that being not so bad. I mean, it's not far from sniper sling prices, so yeah, that's not too bad. Gold pins. John Jeffries is responsible. Yeah, yeah, it's not so bad. He quoted me a basic one for 300. It was a basic as a chems. Oh, really? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I guess depending on the time of the year, and you know, whatever people are getting involved in that. But man, you know, you see some guys, they get upset when people are going overseas to pick up slingshots. But I mean, you know, if you're going to be charging people like $600 for a frame, it's just like, man, I don't know what to say at that point. You know. And is it? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'd have to see one in person. But I mean, would the fit and finish really be much better than that? I don't know. You know.
always try to be fair on my prices, but I ain't trying to screw myself either.
No, no. And you know what? I think you know, there's some makers that actually do something quite smart. They will make custom stuff that the price can go quite high, and you're getting amazing, you know, really fancy materials and all that stuff. Finish is crazy and off the hook. And I get why they charge more money for that. But the guys that only make those frames, that they don't make more of a budget option, you're not going to be selling that much if that's what you want to do. You know, you gotta get a range where everyone can get their hands on something. You know.
Right. Yeah, you can go from something $100, $250.
Wow. Hold that one up a bit. The handle on that thing is crazy. Look at that.
Way better in person.
Wow, I bet. I bet. Guaranteed sexiness off the charts on that one. That one's crazy.
This one's available on my Etsy.
Woo.
This stuff's awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's something else.
Black and red G10. This is called Kieranite.
Kieranite. It's like some kind of epoxy resin.
Yeah. That's the only really nice one I got right here.
That's that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Off the charts sexy. I'm telling you. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful is right. But even at that you said was like $250, you said?
Yeah.
You gave me an eye boner, dude. That's 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 something to be said. You see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Even the red one was really freaking nice, you know? So wow. That black and red one's awesome. Yep. Polished like a new bowling ball. That's, it's so true. It's so true. It's like shiny. I'd be afraid to shoot that thing. I'm pretty sure all the builders charge me extra for being coin worker. Shit, I would. All the ball busting you do, my friend. Woo. Sling and steel. Yeah, I've been eyeing that one. Well, you might have a customer already. I can see someone's drooling over that, and it's not just me. Yeah, yeah, that's something else, dude. That's wow. That's crazy. And you have material.
I love building those kind of frames, the customs and stuff like that. That's my absolute favorite.
But see, that's a perfect example of what I was talking about. You know, if somebody wants to be able to jump into something that expensive and get something that's like a showstopper, then by all means. But even at that price, that's a pretty damn good price in my opinion for something like that. You know, the $100 one, the red one, that's a very good price for something like that. You're still getting a beautiful frame, and it's going to be functional and and all that. So all that part of it's bang on. You know, it's the but like you look at the fit and finish on that on that $250 one versus that $600 one that I was eyeballing. Like I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but I would feel like I got raped for that $650 or $600 if that was the
Yeah.
case. I would not be happy about that. Oh, Al, why do you have to bring up the C word, buddy? We can't talk about that stuff here. You're just gonna get old ATO triggered. That's no good. It's called the asshole tax. Yeah, I pay a lot of that, unfortunately.
And if you guys are like trying to get something from me and I don't have anything on the Etsy, you can contact me through Etsy and I can make a custom listing for something too.
Actually, if there's anybody in the chat, can please put up Hunter's YouTube channel. Pop it up. Pop up his YouTube channel. If anybody's up there, you got to check out Hunter. He's got some great shooting.
Thank you.
Great shooting and some great frames. See if we can send some subs your way, buddy, because that definitely deserve it. I've
Thank
seen
you.
some. I've seen some UK 650 plus pounds. Fuck.
Yeah, Daryl, it could be good.
Yeah, 650 pounds. That would be like close to $1,100 for me.
Nope.
Yeah, put up his Etsy link too. Yeah, it sucks though when you live in a country where your currency is worth about the same as dirt. You know, so it's it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. They print money so much up here that it's worth nothing now, pretty much. So. And then customs, yeah, customs is always a good time. Yeah, I was actually Jeff. I was just telling Hunter a little bit before that we had I had ordered something one time from the States that was somewhere around 30, $35. I ended up paying $30 in tax on the same thing coming in across the border. Just crazy. I have a PPMG. Have you ever shot one of those, Hunter?
I had the Pocket Poacher Ocularis one.
Pocket Poacher. Is that from? That's from.
Pro Shot.
Pro Shot. Okay,
And
yeah.
the Pocket Poacher Mega, right? And then I had the version with the Ocularis plugs on it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got the PPMG Plus sent to me by somebody, and I was gonna send them back to Slingshot, but for some reason the let's see if I have it here somewhere. For some reason the conversation was deleted, and I could never contact the guy back. And he was telling me, oh, he was being deployed in September, and I'm like, oh, well, I want to send you back a Slingshot as a thank you. And the guy never got back to me ever, and I lost his contact. He's being deployed to I think it was Afghanistan or something. I never heard back from the guy, nothing. So well, first of all, I hope he's okay. And the second thing is, if you're ever watching this, please contact me so I could send you that frame. And yeah, and that was that. I mean, it kind of sucked, but I shot it a little bit. The PPMG Plus, it was pretty nice, but again, way too wide for me. I end up.
Hey, web shooter, if you do know something, let us know because I need to get this to Mark and I'd hate for him to have to pay $30 for it.
Oh no, don't worry about that, Hunter. Don't worry about that. Just whenever they're sending it, you just say it's a gift. It's not a sale, and
Okay.
sometimes it'll just come directly to me.
Okay.
The last one that I got sent by Rick, he sent me 4 slingshots, so it was like, I think they saw a big box coming, and they're like, no, pull that one over. Let's see what the deal is and whatever. But it turned out okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, so definitely head on over there and check out Hunter's work and anything that's on there. And if you hold that one up again there, Hunter, that was just insane.
Wish the lighting was better in here because this actually has sparkle in it.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that thing is crazy. Look at that.
The lighting is horrible in here.
And you got it on the front and the back. Oh, you can see the sparkle a little bit when you turned around the other side there. I guess it picked up a little bit from the window, a little tiny bit. But look at that. That's insane.
Blow out the. That ain't helping any, is it?
No.
Yeah, you people, when you think about prices on something like this, you got to figure I had to cut this thing out 3 times. Actually 4, because you rough cut all of these layers.
Yeah.
You get them all together, and then you cut it out to the pretty shape. And then you got to do all this separate. It's just 3 days of work.
Woo.
Oh, you can see it there.
Yeah. Oh wow, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't believe that you held on to that thing for so long. I thought it would have been gone by now. Yeah. Holy smoke.
No.
If it's regular mail, they don't think to worry about customs. Oh, that's my stuff from small. Yeah. I don't shoot pickle, but that's nice. Oh, you may change your ways if you ever get your hands on one of those things. I'll message you later. Perfect. Yeah, it just kind of nuts. It gets a little frustrating. Like I know,
Make more than pickles.
yeah, that's another beauty too, and I love that. That it's almost got like an iridescence to it. The part in the palm as well there. It's crazy.
Take a guess at how much money and materials is on this thing.
How many layers you got?
Well, there's 3 layers of G10, and then there's the 2 layers of the carbon fiber G10.
Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one. Let's
This is a
say
$100 worth of material
just there.
just
Wow,
there. Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that one brings the sexiness too, though. I gotta be honest.
The scales, you only get one side. You don't get the 2 scales. You only get 1 scale for these, for this part right here, and that was $50.
Oh, oh my god. Yeah.
Carbon fiber stuff was like $100 for the sheet, but I didn't use the full sheet, of course, So
Mhm.
yeah, there's
And
a.
how big are the sheets that you're buying?
I think they're 5 by 11, 5 by 12.
Oh, no, okay, so 5 inches by 12 inches type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy expensive, eh?
yeah. It looks cool though.
Yeah. And is that your personal shooter, or are you selling that one too?
It's my personal.
It's your personal, eh?
Unless there's a lot of money involved, then I would come off of it.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
like it.
So you asking $105? Yeah, yeah, probably not. What's up, Jeremy? And you've been making these things for how long now? How long you been at it for?
Probably about 3 years,
3 years, eh?
I think.
That's pretty. That's pretty cool.
A year,
And have you noticed a big?
huh?
Have you noticed a big difference? Have you noticed a big difference in your build quality years? I guess. You get your.
Yeah, there's a pretty good difference in the quality, and then there's a huge difference in the approach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it used to take me forever to make a frame, forever. And then when I finally learned I bought a clamp and clamped the frame down to sand it. That changed everything. So I used to just
What if
hold
you,
it,
oh, so now you put it into a clamp and you.
clamp and sand. It just the work is just you. There's more effort put into the sanding instead of when you're moving and all this, you ain't getting all of that.
Pro
Not all
tips.
your effort's going into sanding. When it's clamped down, all your effort's going into the sanding.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's something to. That's something to. I'll be giving that a try. I'll be giving that a try for sure. I know. I know. For me, when I was trying to cut out my materials, I decided to. I was taking some like masking tape, and I would put the masking tape over it, and I would draw my template out onto it before I got it onto the saw and started cutting it out. So I wouldn't be. I would be able to take the same template and just stick it on every single layer that I wanted to, and I'd be able to pretty much match it exactly the same all the way through all my cuts, and I was running through. But when I got to the carbon fiber, I couldn't get anything to stick to the carbon fiber. It like freaking drove me nuts. I tried everything, and eventually I'm like, screw this. I bought a red Sharpie and I just drew it on, and it's not nearly as close as the other ones were. So it's gonna be a little tricky now to get my hole lined up, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's a big learning curve for me because I've never worked with these materials. With wood, I'm okay. I'm not a problem with wood, but when it comes to some of these materials, I got a lot to figure out. Yeah.
I keep saying I need to do a shop tour. My shop is like this tiny little corner in my garage. It wouldn't be much of a tour. I'd just stand there and turn and a real quick turn, and that's it.
Yeah. You just changed ATO's life. I think you did. I think you did. Oh, Mark Jeremy. No, what's up, doggy? Yeah, right. Shop tour would be cool. My shop would kind of look like a Toronto University uh, war zone, I guess you would call it. With all the it looks like my garage is horrible. I really just want to burn my house down and collect the insurance and actually clean it up at this point. It's terrible. It's terrible, but yeah.
I'm ashamed of my scrap pile. I have this like giant box of like, oh, I just can't quite throw this up.
Well, all those little bits, though, all those little bits, you could probably use them, and I'm sure that's what Moan does. You look at some of his frames he puts together; they look like a mosaic tile almost. It's crazy. I can't imagine. Can you imagine? Like, how the hell does he clamp all that shit together before he sands it down? Like, he's got to be gluing on one piece at a time. Like, there's, I don't see how he could do that otherwise. I really don't. Glue tape on the carbon and on the template, super glue. Watch some most builds, Mark. Yeah, I should probably check that out and see.
Much easier way to do it than that.
Yeah.
It's called woodworking tape.
Yeah. I've been having trouble getting anything to stick to a brass core. I know from the knife building back in the day. I did one with like a G10 handle, but I put like a brass liner in between the two. And one of the best things that I ever figured out was actually just roughing the shit out of all the sides before you glued them all together to give it more surface area to stick together. I knew that was going to be an issue, probably with composites all the way around. You don't want anything delaminating. I made one mistake. I wasn't really sure about G10 at the time. I'd never really gotten deep into using it, and I had I decided to make an aluminum core for an Evo. I had an aluminum core, glued it all together again, and the first time I pulled it back, everything kind of split open. I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch! this is no good." Yeah, so I had to throw it away. But
I always use 80 grit sandpaper on everything.
yeah, rough it up real good. I gave it a sand down before I put them all together to make sure they were flat, but I didn't go rough enough. I used like I think it was like 120 grit or a 30 or a 200 grit type thing, and it wasn't enough. Yeah, yeah. This next one I got going on, it's all been 80 grit. I picked on it real good, so it should be all right. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Morning, Al. Mark, what's going on? Yeah. So, dude, I just got my notification on my phone saying I'm almost out of battery. So it's probably not this one. Huh?
So it lasted quite a while. I have mine plugged in.
Oh, you got your plugged in, yeah?
Cheated.
Yeah. Yeah, my phone is just about dead. I only got like 12% left, so we should probably wrap this one up. But we hit the 3 hour mark. Surprised we went this long. It's pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, Hunter, it was an absolute honor chatting with you. It was good chatting with you, and thanks a lot for that frame, dude. I can't wait to get out and shoot it. It'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me on. It was a blast.
Yeah, we should definitely do it again. I think I'm down for another chat at some point, and maybe we'll do a shoot the next time. Do a live shoot together. It'll be fun. Oh, and you just popped in. We're wrapping things up, bro. Yeah. Anyway, my man, you have anything you want to say to the people back home before we wrap it up?
No, just thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and be sure to head on over to those links. Check out Hunter's store on his Etsy store, and check out his YouTube channel. Throw him some subs, say hi, and tell him ATO sent you. All right, guys. You guys take care, stay safe, get out, practice, be good to each other. I'll see you again soon. I love you guys. You're freaking awesome. Thanks, Hunter. Take it easy, bro.